Top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 50% off select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Some fans gear up for game day, but some fans follow their team every day. That's why the Locked On Podcast Network has a daily podcast for your favorite NBA team. Every trade, every overtime win, every game, our local experts cover the biggest stories around your team every day. Search Locked On plus your favorite NBA team on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This hour of Chiefs coverage is brought to you by IHOP.
One long wintry night, we put hot cinnamon apples on top of the thickest and fluffiest French toast available at IHOP. Try our new thick and fluffy ginger snap apple French toast today. Part of our holiday menu. Let's put a smile on your plate for a limited time at participating locations.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios. Now, joining Cody and Gold.
Hey, it's a beautiful Tuesday morning, let me tell you that.
It's your 2022 VinFL Insider.
Are his hands going to get any bigger?
Royals first baseman, Vinny Pasquantino.
As a potential future Chiefs fan, we hate the Broncos.
Vinny Pasquantino back with us now in action. Been a while since we had a chance to speak to Vinny. And yet now we actually do have a chance. You're
filling because you don't know how to get him on the line.
No, my phone is garbage.
I'll do it for you, man.
My phone is garbage. Vinny, it's good to have you back. How was Italy?
Vinny?
Uh-oh.
I don't hear him. Why don't you continue hosting the show and we'll figure this out.
Well, who's going to figure it out? You and Jed?
Yeah.
All right, Vinny, I guess hang on the line. We're not totally sure why we're not hearing from you yet, but apparently we aren't hearing from you yet. And Jed looks like he's workshopping it in order to source it. And we were really excited to talk to Vinny, who is now here. Vinny, how was Italy?
So I leave for 1 week, and then we can't figure out the phone line.
Apparently, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe I really am Wally Pipp. Psych, call me Lou Gehrig, because I'm back. Nobody's Wally Pipping me, Michael Massey. You don't even start.
Michael was he had a strong performance in your stead, Vinny. So I want to thank you first off for getting an adequate replacement.
Yeah, no problem, guys. And I knew he would want to come back on, so I just wanted to bring on the best. And he really wanted to come back on, so he really gave a good performance. But I'm happy to say that I'm back.
He did at least one time was talking about one thing that came up that I think we have to address before we talk about the NFL is he said that you were starting to shop more at Gucci or other high-end clothing stores. Is that accurate, Vinny, or was this just for the Italy trip?
Am I currently wearing a Prada jacket? I might be. But that's neither here nor there. Like, I like taste, all right? I am just a tasteful man who enjoys nice clothes and having a good time. So, I mean, sure. Have I found myself in some designer stores that last year I would not have found myself in? Sure, that's fine. That's fair to say.
Big leagues changed you, Vinny. Big leagues changed you. I actually went and we're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch now, and so I had to find a headshot of you, and I could have used the Royals headshot, your most current one, but instead I found a glorious picture of you in your Old Dominion days with a slick back haircut. It looks like a copious amount of hair gel and the gold chain, which I feel like that look would have fit in during your vacation in Italy.
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing about an off season is most people don't get to see what I look like, and my hair is on its way back, and I have a nice gold chain on right now. So I think my headshot next year will be looking a little bit like that one,
Beautiful.
Which will just be great.
Do they take that at spring training, or is that like a first day when you get to Kansas City thing?
Last year was in spring training. I think that's where it happens.
Vinny, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on in the NFL. We can start with your Jets, whose offensive performance on Sunday left a little bit to be desired.
Hey, how about those Chiefs, huh? I mean, they're just unbelievable. They're just unbelievable. I mean, 15 just really knows what he's doing. 15-87, huh? I mean, it's just incredible to watch. What a game. Nobody in Kansas City was worried when the Chargers scored. That's just a beautiful place to be. It's really nice when your offense is just able to push the ball down the field and score some points.
Vinny, is it that bad? Is it that bad now that, I mean, we're just weeks removed from talking about this team fast-tracking to the AFC playoffs, that now we just have to not speak of those New York Jets anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are just a really good team, if we're being completely honest. They're the number one seed in the AFC for a reason, and they're just really exciting to watch. I love them.
Is Mahomes going to win the MVP no matter what? Do you think the race is over, or are you still willing to see something happen for the rest of the year?
So it's kind of funny that you asked me, because at the beginning of the season, I would have told you that people have Patrick Mahomes fatigue, just kind of like LeBron, how he could probably win it every year, but they're never going to give it to him. And then it's just turned into he's just so dominant that you have to give it to him. And it's also funny because what does he have? One MVP? So it's not like he has a ton of them in his trophy case. But yeah, he's going to win it. He's going to just go ahead and win it.
Well, there's still a little over half, or a little less than half the season, 7 games left in the schedule, and this is kind of the time of the year where teams start to sort of round into postseason form. Right now, how many legitimate Super Bowl contenders do you see in the NFL?
So you have the Chiefs. I think they're at the top of the list, and then when it comes to, I think it's the Chiefs, and then there's a next level, and I think that next level would be, surprisingly, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. I think they're the next level, and I say that about the Dolphins because they have a wide receiver that you guys know very well who is on that MVP list as well. And anytime you have a playmaker as a wide receiver being on an MVP list, you've got a pretty special season going on. So I think those would be the next 3. And then I think in that next tier, you're looking at the Bills, the Vikings. You know, it's just that next tier, but I think the Chiefs right now are at the top of that list.
Does that mean
Bills tier 3?
You never know. Like, is Josh Allen a little banged up right now? They had a tough week with travel. I want to see them get back on the horse this week before I, really put them in that tier 2. If you're talking to me about the Bills early in the season, they're in tier 1, but I think they've taken a few steps back. But I think it's just the middle of the season lull that they might be going through. So we'll see. We'll see. They've got a nice game against Detroit coming on Thursday. We'll see what they can do.
Sounds like you might be writing off the Vikings a little bit. Was that beat down from the Cowboys enough, or is this just coming back to the Kirk Cousins stuff?
It's just, look, Justin Jefferson could potentially be the best wide receiver in the league. And like I was just saying about Tyreek Hill, anytime you have a playmaker that's that good, you're in a good spot. I just think I want to see the Vikings not have a negative point differential when they're 8-2. I think that's what I would look for there, is that they've scored less points than other teams that they've played, and that's insane for a team that is 6 games above 500.
When you look at, so I wanted to ask you at least about one more thing before that Michael Massey said, before we've got something else for you about that. But he gave us the bombshell report that you became a Jets fan because of Vinny Testaverde. But I didn't have the heart to break it to him that you had already told us that once. We came to speak to you in the clubhouse. Did he come digging for dirt and come up empty?
Yeah, so that's the problem when you I'll just go ahead and say one of my favorite quotes is, if you come at the king, you must kill him. And Michael tried. He did not kill me. And that's just how it goes. That's why he's not on the radio this week. So it's just a sad time to be Michael, but I'm sure he'll pick himself up.
Well, that's funny that you say that because Michael, seeing as how his Chicago Bears and your New York Jets, even though it seems like you're distancing yourself from that organization today, face off this weekend, Vinny. And Michael actually wanted to challenge you to a friendly waiver, so much so that he has recorded a special message just for you regarding this showdown that I'm going to play for you now.
If the Chicago Bears beat the New York Jets on Sunday, Vinny Pasquantino not only has to buy a Mitchell Trubisky jersey, he has to wear it on the first day of spring training into the clubhouse. As a side bet, if Zach Wilson completes more than 15 passes, I will buy and wear a Zach Wilson jersey into the clubhouse on day 1 of spring training. Because Vinny cannot be trusted, I want it noted that it has to be a Chicago Bears Mitchell Trubisky jersey, not a Steelers one.
All right, so those are the terms of his bet. Do you have a response, and do you accept the wager?
So first off, that's a weird bet. So if the Bears win, I have to do something. But what if the Bears win and Zach Wilson completes a certain amount of passes? Like, do we both lose? So I'm really confused with that. But I will say he does know me very well because I would have bought – now, so he didn't specify this. I would have bought a North Carolina Mitch Trubisky jersey or a Buffalo Bills jersey. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I accept. It's kind of funny that he's going to come after me like that on a recorded radio spot because him and I were actually on the phone yesterday discussing potentially going to Kansas City this weekend instead of watching the Jets-Bears game, just going to watch the Rams-Chiefs. So he must have had a change of heart, but I do accept his terms.
Yeah, Vinny, I thought the terms were weird too, by the way. I didn't have the heart to say anything to Michael about it, though.
Yeah, normally when you make a friendly wager, it's even on kind of what happens in terms of if my team wins or if your team wins, not if my team wins or if your quarterback completes a certain amount of passes, but it doesn't matter if your team wins. Like, that's just Michael. And to be honest, that's just Michael.
What are the percentage chances you guys are going to end up at in town this weekend to watch the game?
Probably slim, simply because it's a holiday weekend. But I was kind of looking at the schedule, and you know who the Chiefs play on January 1st, right?
I don't.
I have no idea.
Am I supposed to know that offhand? It's the Broncos, right?
It's the Denver Broncos.
Oh, we don't like them. We don't like them, Vinny.
Yeah, we don't like them at all. So I was thinking about maybe making a trip out there for them. I'm still working through some things, making sure my schedule's clear. But, yeah, so we've got a few options in mind. If anybody out there has any opinions, let me know.
Okay. Hit up Vinny Pasquantino with suggestions. And if we find out you're going to be in town, we will make sure to treat you properly for your first ever Chiefs game at Arrowhead.
Okay, perfect. That's all I asked for, and I appreciate that from you guys. That makes me feel nice.
Vinny, appreciate the time. We'll catch up with you next week.
Yep. Thank you guys. See you then.
That is Vinny Pasquantino. How about that? I did actually, when Michael sent me that audio last night, I was a little confused by the terms of his bet as well. Seeing as how I thought it was just going to be like, if the Bears win, you do this. If the Jets win, I do this sort of thing. But instead it was just, if this team loses, you have to do this. There is no repercussions if the other team loses. And also, if this quarterback does this, then I have to do this. But if he doesn't, then no punishment for that. So there is actually a scenario in that bet where nobody has to do any punishment.
Correct. Which seems odd, but at the same time, I do very much enjoy it. By the way, another off-air conversation. I can't make this phone work because it just keeps doing. It keeps. Okay,
I don't care about that, right? I don't care about that right now.
I can't make the phone work, Nick, and I don't want to seem like a fool. Vinny's great, first off, and he is very excited. We had texted. He is very excited about to go to his first game at Arrowhead, which means we kind of have to plan. I think we need to start planning now. What does a Vinny experience at Arrowhead look like for his first ever trip? I mean, we got to hit multiple tailgates, right? Not just one.
Oh, we have to show him around?
I think so. I think that would be
I have to cancel. I have to wait, and if he happens to go to the game this weekend, I have to drop all my weekend plans.
Correct.
Okay.
I will also drop my weekend plans.
So you will just abandon your family to go take care of Vinny Pasquantino, a grown man who has lots of money and has already lived in this city before.
That's accurate.
Okay.
He has lived in the city, but he's never been to a Chiefs game, Nick. He can't go to the early season ones. He also has a job. A job that keeps him busy, remember? Don't you remember the first couple of weeks of him as the NFL insider? There's only so much he could watch. You had mentioned, you'd asked Vinny, the teams who can win the Super Bowl. I think that it's only 4, because the only 2 teams I'm willing to entertain right now in the AFC are the Chiefs and the Bills. I will not entertain a single other team to win the Super Bowl as it sits right now. Win a playoff game, fine. Miami might win a playoff game. And I understand that they're still currently ahead of technically Buffalo in the standings, but those are the only 2 AFC teams I will entertain. The only 2 NFC teams I will entertain are the Eagles and the Cowboys. I know I'm supposed to say the 49ers, but boy, would that be rich coming from me considering all the Jimmy G slander I've thrown around for years.
So you secretly, so what you're saying is you do believe in the 49ers, but so that you can remain consistent with your previous takes, you're not going to
believe in them
say
enough.
What you believe.
They looked good last night, and they've won 3 games in a row, but I don't believe in them enough to move on. They're well coached. They got a lot of talent, but I still feel like Jimmy G's the key cog of the I don't want to believe in you decision.
Yeah, so I think there are 5 teams. I think it's the 4 that you mentioned. Chiefs, Bills, and Eagles, Niners, Cowboys. Part of me wants to throw the Dolphins in. It's just tough for me to imagine them getting through the Chiefs and or the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. But so then I guess that if there's only 2 teams that I'm putting in from the AFC, the Chiefs or the Bills, well, I don't think the Cowboys, the Niners, or the Eagles could beat either of those teams in the Super Bowl. See, actually, you know what? It's 2 teams. It's
so
2 teams.
I went to 4 and you're down to 2?
Yeah, I started with 5, actually. I started with more than you, and now I end up with half as many teams as you because I don't think any of the teams from the NFC could beat the Chiefs or the Bills in the Super Bowl. So it's 2 teams. Because what do you mean, why? Do you actually want to know why? Do you actually want me to elaborate as to why?
Because to me, the Cowboys in particular would be a hard one to kick off of this list because their pass rush is so good. I have a hard time thinking they won't be in a game.
Okay, I'll
Dak
elaborate.
Prescott is a good enough quarterback.
No, he's not. He's not. He's
a good. Wow. So there's your line.
Well, no. He is a good enough quarterback in the general sense. He is not a good enough quarterback to win a game against the Bills or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. He's not. That's why. Because Josh Allen, even though I don't think Josh Allen is on the same level as Patrick Mahomes, he is a step above everybody else. Like for the longest time, Chiefs fans sort of got their feelings hurt when you would mention Josh Allen in the same tier as Mahomes. You know what? Based off what we've seen the last month, I'm okay with that. Mahomes is on his own level by himself at the top of the NFL quarterback pecking order. But if that is the case, Josh Allen's all alone on his own little tier at right behind Mahomes. And then it's everybody else. And I'm not putting Jalen Hurts or Jimmy Garoppolo in that mix. Dak Prescott's maybe in that next tier with guys like Tua or Brady. I don't know who else you want to throw into that mix this year. But Dak Prescott is not like his best games are really good, and he's in total command of that offense, but he is not as consistently dominant as either one of those guys. And seeing the way that the NFL is shaken out the last couple of years, I'm just not going to bet against Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. One of those 2 teams is winning the Super Bowl.
To me, it's just a matter of if they get there, then all I'm asking for Dak to be is better in one game. And Dak can be better than the other quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yeah, he can't be better. He can't be better than Mahomes or
in one game?
No.
In a single standalone?
No.
He can't be.
Did you watch how that game ended on Sunday night?
Yeah, I did.
Dak Prescott doesn't do that. Dak Prescott does not do that. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes can do that.
What's it going to take for either of us, I guess, to include Miami in this conversation? Them beating the Bills again?
No, it's
They've
not.
already beaten them once.
No,
Would beating them again in a few weeks in Buffalo for December 16th be enough? 18th, sorry.
What are they right now?
7-3. Same record as the Bills.
If they finish the season at 13-4 or 14-3, I'll probably take them seriously to that level. But we do this all the time. You know we do. It's somebody else's turn. Whoever the new blood is in the AFC.
I want to see Tua do it in a big game.
Yep, we're like, nope, wait until you do it in the playoffs. And like Joe Burrow did it last year. Going into the playoffs, they were red hot the last, I think, 5 weeks of the regular season. But they were a middling team that wasn't even a surefire bet to make the playoffs, let alone win their division at this point last year. But then Joe Burrow turned into a star. And even then we said, okay, do it in the playoffs. And guess what? Did it in the playoffs. So then we said, all right, well, now we'll start taking you seriously. But we do it every year, and that's fine. If that's the criteria, then let's remain consistent with it.
So Tua we could take serious next year if he gets to an AFC title game or wins some games or makes it tough or gets past the Chiefs and go to the Super Bowl, then we will include them in this conversation next year is essentially what
at some point, the postseason success does have to have its validation. And Patrick Mahomes has it. Allen has it. Joe Burrow has it. I don't know if I'm ready to put the Bengals in that category because they went out, spent a lot of resources on the offensive line, don't have a ton to show for it. They're still one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL despite everything they did in the offseason.
Let's get to a little Nick's Notable Notes.
Gotta write something down. Nick's Notable Notes.
Wait a minute.
Well, it's Jed. Jed's in.
I thought it was Jed Talks today.
Oh, I didn't prepare anything, Nick. I got.
Wow. Confusion.
Play the
No, that was
sounder.
a joke.
Oh,
I
there
have
we go.
plenty.
Classic Jed Talks, man.
Classic Jed
He got
Talks.
us both. Nick was ready to Google. He's like, I got to say something.
I just Googled sports topics.
We're just going to go to break and play a 9-minute break. Yeah, that'll be great. So we had talked about it a little bit earlier. One of the biggest World Cup upsets happened today. How much are you guys actually enjoying the World Cup? Mexico and Poland, for all those interested, are at halftime 0-0 right now. Are you guys actually intrigued? Is it completely dependent upon the U.S. being in there?
No, I'll watch very little soccer, just generally speaking. Very little Premier League, very little MLS. But during the World Cup, Jed, I'll watch a pretty good amount. Like I mentioned this morning, because my kid had woken up, I put on the game for a little bit. Or yesterday, we had multiple games on during this. I'll watch, not all, but I'll watch enough of the big matches, and especially once we get down to the final 16, I'll watch a good majority of them down to that range.
Yeah, I will watch games involving names that I know, like big stars. And then the U.S.
So if it's Neymar or
and then once we get to
Messi.
So it sounds like you're watching two teams then.
Yeah, well, there's other players.
He actually successfully named about 8 soccer players yesterday.
Yeah, just classic off-air content. I will also watch the quarterfinals on. Aside from that, though, the only thing I'm interested in watching right now is highlights from the 2001-2002 Sacramento Kings.
I
team won 61 games that year. We're just going to forget about that?
C-Webb was one of my favorite players, so I can get down with that. All right, let's move to the world of college football. A couple of things to get to. Michigan-Ohio State is the biggest game of the weekend. What game are you guys most excited for? That's it for me. I know that Kansas State is probably a big one for you, Nick.
Yeah, so that's a big one. Ohio State and Michigan's a big one as well. Even though, Michigan maybe needs to win to get in, Ohio State could lose that one and not get in. It's tough because 2 weeks ago I felt pretty good. If you would have told me that Jalen Daniels was coming back last week, I would have been feeling really good about their chances of going to Manhattan and competing, but that was ugly.
It depends on which Kansas State team you get, right?
And Kansas State is the most all-or-nothing team in college football this year.
Because when they're playing great, they'll beat Kansas 50-10 this weekend.
When they're
if
playing
they're playing
great,
average, it'll be 28-28.
When they're playing great, they look like a top 10 team in the country.
Yes.
There are also times where they look like a top 70 team in the country. Watching Bijan Robinson run all over Kansas last year has me a little frightened for what Deuce Vaughn could do to them, because you're talking about both of those guys being two of the most productive running backs in Big 12 history. So I'm a little nervous about that game. I won't be going. Are you going to the game?
No.
I do want to see USC Notre Dame because they got a lot of history, and Caleb Williams is playing great, and they're trying to play their way into the college football playoff. So that one's somewhere on the list this weekend.
By the way, I just want to say, even though this is Jed Talks, brought up college football, my current Heisman rankings.
Do you have a Heisman vote?
I do, Jed.
When
Thank
did that
you for
happen?
asking. When did it happen?
Yeah. Because this is the first I'm hearing
about 6 years ago. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's been a while. It doesn't get brought up, honestly, enough.
Enough, probably.
It doesn't get brought up enough, but I appreciate you giving me this platform to talk about it. Heading into the final week of the regular season, Caleb Williams of USC is number 1 on my Heisman watch list. That's right. No C.J. Stroud at 1. No Blake Corum. Now, at this point, if Caleb Williams has another good statistical finish to the season, I think it's tough for him to get past unless C.J. Stroud throws for 5 touchdowns and they need it to beat Michigan.
What about the health of Blake Corum? He had 150 all-purpose yards going into before his injury. I know that that's a big question mark. Obviously, I'm the Michigan guy, so that's what concerns me. But...
I didn't know you were a Michigan guy.
Oh, yeah. Go
Big
Blue.
Michigan fan.
Dude, I'll be honest, I just don't see it with Blake Corum. At no point this year, he's always been 3rd or 4th on the list to me. It just I haven't seen the Heisman moment. I think it makes sense because they're good and he's their best player, but he just hasn't really had a typical Heisman season.
For an 11-0 team to be the best player, I think speaks volumes. Anyways, we'll move forward and give me and Nick's pissing match a little bit of a break. Navy announced that they're going to be wearing NASA-themed uniforms in the rivalry game against Army. Are you guys excited for that?
That feels like way too many government entities all together.
What do you mean? What
does the Navy have to do with NASA? Do they help NASA?
Sure.
Yeah, dude.
Go retrieve the shuttles when they're in the
And what do
water,
you have
or,
against-
or does NASA do that?
And what do you have against government?
No, I was just saying.
Why do you hate the armed forces?
I don't know. I'm interested in any. College football does a better job than just about any other sport at alternate uniforms that are completely different than their normal things. So I am intrigued. I just felt like that felt like a long sentence of NASA-themed Navy uniforms against
I'm
Army.
only in if they look like just their actual astronauts.
Yeah, I was going to say they're actually wearing just spacesuits and stuff like that.
Like they paint their faces on the side like they're in the helmets.
If they legit looked
cool.
like it was like an astronaut spacesuit, I would be all in.
Have we seen them yet?
I'm sure that there are images out there. I have not. I'll find one during the break. Last one, Kyrie Irving is back with the Brooklyn Nets. When is this man going to go away?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully immediately, actually. Right now.
Probably never.
He's probably the most annoying athlete ever. I'm not saying. Yeah, because Dwight Howard used to be my number one, and now it's Kyrie Irving. I just don't like fake intellectuals. I don't like guys who think they're very smart, but then constantly expose themselves for being very dumb.
They do not, by the way, look like astronauts. They just have astronauts on the helmet. And
Weak.
Generally kind of apply the color scheme beyond that. The helmet is still kind of cool.
You gonna buy one for your kid?
Buy them a Navy football astronaut helmet?
You could.
Which kid, though?
They could share it.
Which one do you love more?
Yeah, if you had to pick one.
I love them equally.
But if
That's not true.
Come on, you had to pick one.
I don't have to pick.
Well, it's like, who would you rather have, me or Nick, hanging out?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you had a motorcycle and there was only room for one kid on the sidecar, who gets the seat?
I'm not choosing between my children.
Why?
Okay.
Coward.
Yeah.
This feels like I'm getting, and you're asking me to choose a favorite between the two of you. You're acting the same way.
Why choose Nick over you if you're going to be a baby?
Thank you. I choose you as well, Jed.
Well, I guess I'm the last pick. I brought cookies for you two.
And I ate them. And we'll see how I'm feeling in a couple hours.
You ate something
Those
yesterday.
were not the cookies that I brought. It's fine.
You got cookies too?
At my house. You can come by at 2:01. We'll eat some cookies.
There we go.
Slightly different vibe with his cookies, to be clear.
Holiday weekend, baby.
Since a work tomorrow.
Well,
you realize that, right?
I thought we were mailing it in.
When we come back, we'll get back to the Chiefs, including how impressive it is that they've already won the division by Thanksgiving, with our guy Jay Binkley up next here on Cody and Gold.
There's Kelsey to the end zone.
Cody and Gold brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Yellowstone, television's #1 show, is back on Paramount Network.
I, John Dutton, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Montana against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Featuring an all-star cast led by Academy Award winner Kevin Costner.
The invasion is over.
They will fight you dirty.
Is there any other way?
As the Dutton family fights to protect their legacy, they'll learn power has a price.
Signing this is a declaration of war.
We're already at war.
Yellowstone. New episodes Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Paramount Network.
What makes Amazon Pharmacy Amazon Pharmacy? There's transparent pricing, so you know what you'll pay before you pay it. And Prime members can save up to 80% on prescriptions. Pharmacists can answer all your questions and can even transfer your prescriptions for you. All of this delivered directly to your door. It is Amazon Pharmacy, after all. Save time, save money, stay healthy. Learn more at amazon.com/sports22. That's amazon.com/sports22. Average savings based on usage and inside RX data as compared to cash prices. Average savings for all generics are 78%, 37% for select brand medications. Restrictions apply.
Football, tailgating, and parties, and Smokehouse Barbecue. I can't think of anything better. No matter what you're celebrating, Smokehouse Barbecue will celebrate with you. Private banquet rooms at all 3 area locations, Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa. Or if you're hosting your own party in the KC Metro, invite Smokehouse to cater and deliver. Order the whole meal with their famous ribs and wings. Or if you're flexing your skills on the grill but need Smokehouse Barbecue's hickory pit beans or cheesy corn to go with your masterpiece, give them a call or visit smokehousebbq.com.
Here's another Outdoor America fishing tip presented by Wholesale Batteries. The right battery the first time. Here's the host of Outdoor America, Tommy Bench.
Just because the water's freezing cold doesn't mean those fish aren't going to bite. I guarantee you're going to eat this winter, and so will the fish. Here's a good tip on how you can catch them this winter. The biggest thing I'm looking for, if you have a significant spring around, that is one of the best ways for them fish to congregate in the wintertime, because that water stays a constant 55 degrees. So now you can go and catch these fish instead of being spread out in the river system But the biggest thing is, if you can find one fish when the water's below 45 degrees, you're going to catch more. The best advice I can give you, slow down, hair jigs, some jerk baits, and you're going to catch more fish this winter. I'm Tommy Bench, and that's your tip of the week.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, heard every Saturday morning at 5 a.m. on 610 Sports Radio, presented by Wholesale Batteries.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric is proud to install Generac generators. When you purchase a new Generac home standby generator, receive a 10-year warranty for free, plus financing to fit your needs. From Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
106.5 The Wolf wants to give you the ultimate game day experience. Coors Light, McFadden's, and The Wolf are throwing huge parties for every game, home and away at KC Live in the Power District. Complete with pregame food and drink specials, tailgate games, live entertainment, and more. When the game is over, celebrate the win with your fellow fans at McFadden's and KC Live. Come for the game, stay for the party at the ultimate game day experience. Brought to you by Coors Light. Get details from your official radio home for Chiefs football at 1065thewolf.com.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios.
A Humana Medicare Advantage plan could put a smile on your face. That's because some plans offer a $2,000 yearly allowance to use toward dental services, so you can get the care you need and want. Use your allowance toward annual exams and cleanings, as well as fillings, dentures, and more. Some allowances could even help pay for implants. Plus, our wide network can make finding care even easier. Many of our Medicare Advantage plans give you a $2,000 yearly allowance to use toward in- and out-of-network dental services. Your plan may just put a smile on your face, then help that smile stay healthy. Explore Medicare Advantage plans at humana.com/discover or by calling a licensed Humana sales agent at 800-213-6403. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Visit Shane Company. We have the largest selection of natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes, each one hand-selected for its beauty.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
At T-Mobile, we think about coverage differently, so we built a network powerful enough to bring high-speed 5G home internet to millions of homes across America.
Welcome to the neighborhood. You all settled in?
Yeah, we love it. Quiet location, beautiful parks, great internet.
Internet? Who are you using?
T-Mobile 5G home internet.
T-Mobile has internet?
Yep, T-Mobile's same 5G network that works great on your phone is strong enough for your home internet. Just plug it in your set.
I did not know that.
It's reliable and affordable. Just $50 a month.
Make yourself at home with fast, reliable, affordable T-Mobile 5G home internet on the network with the power to go beyond the expected. Just $50 a month with AutoPay. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/5G internet.
Availability limited. Qualifying credit required. Regulatory fees included in price for qualified accounts, plus $5 per month without autopay. $35 assisted support or device connection charge due at sale. See T-Mobile.com/5G internet for details.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at Bartesian.com/premium. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at Bartesian.com/premium. That's BARTESIAN.com/premium for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at Bartesian.com/premium.
Hey, it's Scott Moore. Make sure you keep listening all season long on your official broadcast partner, the Kansas City Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, 610 Sports Radio, 610sports.com, and the Odyssey app. Cody Tapp, Nick Schwartz, Jed Marshall on the other side of the glass. And now our guy Jay Binkley making his very first appearance on our live stream, which can be found at 610 Sports KC on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Might be one more I'm forgetting, but at least those 4. Binkley, how are you?
Real good, my man.
Well,
real good. Is that
Rusty?
better? Is that better?
You
Jed,
rusty?
do you have me? Jed, do you have me? How are
You
we
have
doing,
to turn
Cody?
on your own mic, buddy.
So you're being all nice to me now, huh, Cody?
What do you mean now?
I was driving in and I heard what
I knew
happened.
this would happen. I knew he would
okay.
show up in studio and all of a sudden you're acting all chummy.
You act like nothing happens. You're like, hey, what's up? Where's my guy, Bink? What's up, man? You know.
First, there was time between our 2 shows, if that's what you're referencing. And I don't think it's fair to say that that comment was meant towards you.
I was even invited by his wife to a chili cook-off on first weekend of December.
You don't have to make chili. Just show up and eat.
I got the e-bite from Cody's wife. Not him.
Yeah,
Cody's
not
wife.
him, right? Because she was probably
She's
like, should we
nice.
invite Jay Binkley? And he's like, I don't know.
That's not how this went.
She's like, I guess I'll
Well,
do it.
I spent playing poker with you guys over at Cody's house the other day. We're getting that tight.
Hey,
And-
I'm not going to get into it on air, but you should have heard what he said about you after you left.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Wait, at poker? I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Binkley, did you win that night?
I did come out ahead.
I didn't.
I know you didn't.
Well, you didn't know what happened after you left.
No, here's what
I
happened.
just lost more money.
He just knew that you were going to lose
To
money.
win the
He
money
could
is
see it.
usually later tonight because everybody's just hammered. At that point.
Yeah, sure.
That's when you start winning the money. But early on, it's more of a game, and then it just turns into people playing 7-deuce, 7-3, and losing. Yeah.
Any 2 cards. Binkley, we had asked a question before, so I'm curious before we talk specifically about the Chiefs. We had asked Vinny, and Nick and I had discussed it. He had originally had 5 teams, talked himself down to 2. I've got 4. How many teams do you think can win the Super Bowl? And I guess who are they?
I'm curious who your 4 are.
Mine were Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Cowboys.
Okay.
Nick had added the 49ers at first and then had eliminated all but that because he decided after all that if they got to the Super Bowl, there were only 2 teams he thought could win it, and none of those teams could win it against the NFC or the AFC teams, so he got himself down to Chiefs Bills somehow.
If you asked me to take Chiefs and the Bills or the field early before the season kind of started, I would have taken that bet. I would
How
have
about
100% taken a bet. But here's the one thing about it now is the Bills just find ways to choke. And they just have. I know it was a nice little win against the Lions, but organizationally, they find a way towards the mid part of the season till the end. I remember on the postgame show talking about the Bills, once they beat the Chiefs, is like, all right, let's just hold on here. Let's see what happens. You guys remember what happened last year? They go and lose to the Tennessee Titans. Everybody was on the Bills last year. I know this year they're Super Bowl favorite, but people loved the Bills last year. Then they lose 41-15 to the Colts at home. And then they lose to Urban Meyer and the Jags that season. And they had to come to Kansas City for the playoffs instead of a home game. They find a way to do this. Look at, they went from the number 1 seed to the 6th seed down to the 5th seed.
But then what happened? Because then they got red hot to finish the year and Josh Allen was nearly perfect in the playoffs. So it's not as though that lull last year removed them from Super Bowl contention.
How many Super Bowl runs, how many Super Bowl games have they played with this Josh Allen? Keep in mind, he's played 2 less games. He's played 2. Wait a minute. He's played 2 less games than Mahomes. How many Super Bowls he been in? How many MVPs he got?
0 to both of those.
Okay, so does that make him less of a Super Bowl contender? Come on. How many teams you putting ahead of them? Legit.
Right now, it's the Chiefs
them.
and the Bills still. That's 1 and 2.
Right. So,
Despite the fact they're the
so what
fifth
are we
seed.
really talking about if they're still the
They're
second
going to
best
come
team
to
in the
Kansas
NFL?
City and lose. It's which team is going to get the
No,
honor
I agree with that.
of coming to Kansas
Yeah.
City and lose. That's what's coming to. I really like the Titans. I think the Titans could be. Now, they did choke in the playoffs last year. But fundamentally, I like what Vrabel's doing. I like the way he coaches. It's a tough physical football team that's hard to play. I mean, Vrabel's really showing the X's and O's this year. I mean, remember he outsmarted Belichick last year when he was
a really
when he was
good
playing his
coach.
own. He really is.
But I just don't. The Titans, they don't have anything either. They don't have any MVPs. They've been to 1 AFC title game. They just have a really good running back and a smart coach and a below-average quarterback.
Yeah, if Derrick Henry's out, then it's one team you look at. You could say it about the Chiefs, too. You could say if Mahomes is out, how good
Yeah, but
is
it's the
he?
only team you'd say that about a position player. I wouldn't eliminate the Chiefs from any chance at winning a Super Bowl if anyone outside of Mahomes and Kelsey were
He's
out.
the best non-quarterback. Best non-quarterback in the game. There's no question about that. The top 4 in the AFC are Chiefs, Bills, Titans, Ravens.
Okay,
and if you go NFC to win a Super Bowl, I think it's very, very limited.
Okay, but you said you don't think that the Bills can come into Arrowhead and win a game.
No.
So does that mean the Chiefs are the only team from the AFC that you think has a shot at winning the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay, so then how many NFC teams do you have?
Then
now you're basically saying
the Eagles are too big. I mean, again.
But you're saying that they would have to beat the Chiefs because the Chiefs are the only team that you
exactly.
have to
But the
make
Eagles,
Super Bowl.
I know a lot of people like the Eagles, but how good have the Eagles been? Last couple of weeks, they've looked like crap. And they barely sneak out and win over Jeff freaking Saturday by a point. And I know the Chiefs lost the Colts.
They've had some turnover regression the last 2 weeks.
So Dallas looks good at times, man. They really do. That's the way they look. They're Jekyll and Hyde. They look great sometimes, then look like garbage the next. But the Cowboys would be up there as well in the NFC. If you had those two teams, the Eagles and the Cowboys, the NFC, the Vikings really showed themselves. They've been playing on borrowed time the last couple of weeks.
They've been fraudulent the whole season.
They've been totally fraudulent.
The problem is they have so many stars that I want to believe in them.
That was the Cowboys.
Like Zadarius Smith has been a top 10 pass rusher this year. Dalvin Cook is a top 5 running back. Justin Jefferson's a top 3 wide receiver.
I think they got 2 stars. I think they got Justin Jefferson and Zadarius Smith.
That was the Cowboys' biggest margin of victory.
And if your running back's a star, unless they're Derrick Henry,
it's not as important.
Doesn't really matter that much.
That's how bad that loss was in Minnesota. The largest margin of victory on the road ever for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it
was ugly.
To be a one-loss team and have a team come into your house and do that, like the Cowboys punked the Vikings. That was pathetic.
So do you
the
think
Niners?
any of those
I liked the
teams?
Niners last year. It's why we had our playoff. We did our draft of players. Why I picked Deebo Samuel. People are like, what are you doing that for? Because I think the 49ers are going to win some playoff games, and no one's laughing now. But
so who? Okay, so season ends today. Who's your Super Bowl matchup?
I'm saying Chiefs and Eagles right now.
Do you think the Eagles could beat the Chiefs in a Super Bowl?
No.
So he's down to
So one team.
I think Andy Reid's on the right side. It's going to be the Andy Reid Bowl. Everybody will be talking about that.
So Binkley says 1, at least from that end. Because part of this is for the same reasons that I felt like everyone was going to come get the Chiefs anyway, Bink, which was, all right, the Broncos spent $250,000 and a bunch of first-round picks on a quarterback, and the Raiders spent free agency money and traded for Devontae Adams, and the Chargers spent free agent money in the pass rush and felt like they were going for it, and they've already all lost the division. Like, it's over. Like, it's a wrap. The division's done, Bink. By Thanksgiving, it's done. It's over.
Isn't it one of the most comical things in the NFL talk and chatter this year was people picking other teams to win this division? Listen, both you guys, I played poker with both you guys the other night. And what happens in poker when you're not drunk and you're trying to win the game? You go by percentages and odds, right?
Sure.
You look at what you have, and you look at how many outs do I have? Is this a 98%er here? What are we looking at here? Should I make the bet or not on the turn to the river? No other coach in this division's ever even made the playoffs. Yet the guy that's won 6 straight playoff or 6
Josh
straight
McDaniels,
divisions.
did he not make it once with Tebow?
He did not. That was John Fox.
Oh, my God.
The rest of the coaches' division have zero playoff wins. They haven't even been. And then you have Andy Reid, 6 straight, plus he's 3rd all-time in postseason victories. 2 more playoff wins than Andy Reid and Bill Belichick are sitting alone as the top 2 guys in the history of the National Football League. And by the way, one team had Patrick Mahomes. Yet people in their hot takes, all these hot takes, I think are coming back and making people look a little stupid. They're looking a little fraudulent. In the national media, the people have picked against the Chiefs, and they won't give Mahomes credit. They won't mention the fact he has 14 divisional road playoff wins to start off. Joe Montana once had 20.
It's 15 now, right? It was 14?
No, it's 14 now. It was 13. It's 14 now. Joe Montana did it 20 times in a row. That's the NFL record. But it wasn't all. It started in 1983.
It was pre-free agency.
Well, it was not his rookie year either. It was because he started in '79. He did it starting in '83. That is an incredible number. The 25 straight. When's the last time you heard anybody in the national media talk about 25 straight wins in November, December? You haven't heard it.
You know why it is, though? You know why it is because I think they get tired of talking about the same team for 5 straight years. So you're looking for someone to steal the throne.
But it looks bad, though. It really does. Like, when you hear these people talking, it makes them look really dumb.
It's not a Mahomes thing. People have been doing it with LeBron James for 15 years.
I know.
It was just you know what? He's been the best for 8 years. Is there somebody else we can start talking about?
Well, talk up the Cowboys. The Cowboys have been talked up all the time. People talk about them all the time. For a team that does not win the postseason, that team is talked about all the time and scrutinized under the microscope. But honestly, when people downplay the Chiefs and, well, what are they going to be without Tyreek Hill and all this? A lot of them, these are paid experts that are supposed to be really good on the league. They all sound really, really stupid when they diss Mahomes and the Chiefs. They really do.
I know, but I'll be honest. I thought it would be harder for them than this with, right? I mean, I thought it'd be harder than this for them without Tyreek Hill. We all didn't think it'd be this easy.
No, I thought there would be some growing pains.
Yeah, I mean, he's on pace for 5,500 yards and 48 touchdowns. I thought it would take longer than that.
Have we seen the growing pains this year?
Here's the one thing we've seen is we've seen better coaching offensively, not taking certain things for granted that Tyreek Hill is just going to bail you out of it or whatever. I think the coaching this year has been better than we've seen under Andy Reid and Bieniemy. I think this is the best coaching.
That's so funny you say that. That's so funny you say that. I was driving into work today thinking that exact same thing. That this might be Andy Reid's best coaching job for
I think so. That's why he's coaching the year.
What they've lost, and the fact that you could argue statistically, I don't think this is the best offense Mahomes has ever had. I think it's better than it was a year ago.
They're outthinking you. They're looking at your weaknesses. They're playing chess. They're playing chess when the other teams are playing checkers. And that's what the Chiefs are doing. And I'll tell you guys, I still think the biggest moment for this team in all of the offseason moves, the great draft, was Camp Pat. I think the fact these guys went down, played video games, and bonded, and Andy Reid said, okay, you don't have to come back for OTAs. Do it down there, and we'll Zoom it or whatever. Trusting Mahomes to do that, building chemistry with his teammates. Because I know we can laugh about team chemistry, but this team's got a ton of it. And I think a lot of it was built down there in Texas with Mahomes and these players.
I mean, they had to get it somewhere. It's not like any of the players on offense knew each other ahead of time, right? Except for him and Kelsey. New rookie wide receiver in Sky, new wide receivers in MVS and Juju. Justin Watson just showed up. I mean, the quarterback is some of it, dude.
Well, they're stoned it like Ben Roethlisberger's Juju came from him. He's not a guy that scrambles and makes plays. Like Juju had to get used to a quarterback that got out of the pocket and made plays because Big Ben didn't do that. Now, MVS coming from Aaron Rodgers, he does, a lot of these same type of things. But Justin Watson and Tom Brady, you're talking about a quarterback that doesn't get out. And they had to learn kind of Mahomes' mannerisms and what he does.
I imagine it would be different than playing with almost any other quarterback because it's not just like a true running quarterback. It's not like playing with Justin Fields. It's like, well, he runs sometimes, but sometimes he just runs around and he still wants to throw it to you a lot. And then other times, it's like really you are kind of guessing a little bit. Because I heard the offensive lineman like that being like kind of a ding for like, hey, it's really hard to play offensive line for Patrick Mahomes. So for these guys that are getting beat, but the problem is when I see them get beat, it's not Mahomes doing weird stuff. It's Mahomes takes a 7-step drop back and Orlando Brown Jr.'s, somebody's already passed him, Bink. I don't ever think of it as being like, well, they're having a problem when he starts to scramble. I'm like, well, you've had a year and a half with him. Now almost 2 years, right? This is not new information we've seen about Patrick Mahomes. You have to prepare for blocking for him different than you block for other people, and you should probably know that by now.
What Mahomes is a fine wine. He's a bourbon. He's just going to get better with age. Seriously. Quarterback Steve Young didn't do anything till he was in his 30s. Literally, because he was behind in the USFL. Like, his numbers started in his 30s. Mahomes hadn't even sniffed that yet. That's when quarterbacks they start processing and they've seen everything. Last year was a year where defenses were doing different stuff to the Chiefs and Mahomes, right? They were trying different things. Mm-hmm. And they slowed Mahomes down a little bit, even though the Chiefs ended up number one in the NFL in points per drive, which they still are right now at 2.8 points per drive, which is insanity. But they've thrown everything at him. And now they've already done it all. There's not much you can do because he keeps withstanding all the different stuff and the defenses are doing. And keep this in mind, guys, he's just going to get better and better. The Mahomes you're seeing now, as good as he is and great as he is, in 5 years, that guy, think about all the things he's going to process and see and know in 5 years. To me, they're going to turn over play calling to him like Peyton Manning, to get the Peyton Manning treatment where he called basically all the plays, and especially when you get in the 2-minute drill, just turn it over to him. He's that kind of cerebral player, but just think about how good he's going to get once he gets in his 30s. Not that he's not great now and the best in the game, but just think about where he's still going.
Is this Isaiah Pacheco's backfield the rest of the season? I know they've been very consistent with what they say about the running back room, whether it's Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid. They say they're going to ride the hot hand. They say everybody's going to get touches, but it seems painfully obvious that Isaiah Pacheco is their best carrier of the football.
100%. And not only that, but his analytics and stats would bear it out that he gets better as the game goes on. I mean, that's the mark of a good running back. When they get better and more yards per carry. Like his yards
physical
per carry,
guys typically too. You know.
his yards per carry goes up as the game. And how many guys remember great running backs? They may go into halftime and you're frustrated on fantasy football because they have like 5 yards or 6 yards. Then they end up with like 170. Right? I mean, you keep giving the ball. Bob and Josh had asked me on the round table a week or so ago, how do you make the running game better? And I said, find a guy, stay with him, get the consistency, and let him kind of get that feel, ebb and flow of a game. And I think Pacheco got that. They finally had a 100-yard rusher since, week 4 last year?
Yeah. You know what was funny to me? You mentioned that some of the advanced numbers would bear it out. If you just go over rushing yards over expected, which is basically what would the average ball carrier pick up on this given situation, Clyde is 7th worst in the NFL. Isaiah Pacheco is 12th best in the NFL.
And you know what you guys saw a little bit with Pacheco? He's got 4.37 speed, which is
fast.
Is insanity.
Well, just watch him run the ball, too.
He's actually faster than Kadarius Toney.
It just looks different. Like the way that he hits that hole and he accelerates, he's just got that burst that Clyde doesn't have.
That 20-yard run, that 18-yard run. Like, you put him in space, he's going to the house. Like, it just takes a little bit, just give him a little bit of space. This guy's taking it to the house. He's that fast.
Do you trust this coaching staff to fully hand him the keys to that backfield? We know McKinnon will have his job. He'll be your third down back. He's your pass catching back. We know that. Do you trust that if Clyde gets healthy or when Clyde gets healthy, that this won't just go back to being a timeshare?
You know what? I thought it was definitely trending towards Pacheco being that guy when you go back to even last or 2 weeks ago. But then Clyde got a little more carries than I thought he would get, kind of breaking that ebb and flow of Pacheco. But I would like to think that it's Pacheco's job and you stay with one guy. I mean, I can't definitively say it, but it was trending that direction and then kind of stepped back a little bit as Clyde got back into the game. Guys, Chiefs are seeing what they got. And the Chargers so bad. And I think a little bit of it is because the Chargers' run defense is so bad. They're that bad. I mean, they're last in the league last year, third worst this year. They're getting worse. The numbers go in the opposite direction. But that run defense is one of the worst in the league. And I thought, okay, well, see, I think the Chiefs, and you look at the game plan, and maybe Clyde was a little bit more part of the plan because the Chargers were just so bad at stopping the run.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, Binkley had mentioned a player on Twitter yesterday that I think is really important. But first, just real quick, I think it's important that we get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
The reason why it's important to get to the trash of the day, that it's now been reported that the Las Vegas Raiders have filed a trademark for their team that they plan on using as the slogan going forward. As a reminder, the Las Vegas Raiders are 3-7. The trademark they have filed for is Win City.
It's like Sin City, Cody.
Yeah, but winning.
Yeah, like Win City, Sin City.
Do they ever copyright just Win, baby? I mean, that's what they've always been known for.
Yeah, do they want to add Win City to this? Shouldn't they just be... They should stop putting win in all their trademarks because they're not particularly good at that.
They should. Well, if they're going to do it, I personally think they should try to start winning. So at least a little bit.
Seems like they were trying when they signed Devontae Adams this offseason.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Did you see that report the other day that suggested they were going to just cut Derek Carr? That doesn't make any sense.
No,
Couldn't they still trade him?
So yeah, they could trade him. I heard a juicy report that they could trade him to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers reunited with Devontae Adams.
See,
here's the problem: they can't.
Why would a cold weather city want Derek Carr? He's never won a game less than 40 degrees. If you're a cold weather city, stay the hell away.
Get him in a
get
dome.
Siegfried and Roy and those Tigers, not Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is unfairly going to be made the scapegoat because I don't think they can afford to pay Josh Daniels' buyout.
No.
So they're going to keep Josh Daniels. Which, by the way, this is way more on Josh McDaniels than it has been on Derek Carr. Derek Carr hasn't been great, but he's not the reason why they're 4-7.
They were 500 pretty much all the other time under the other coaches in Derek Carr. And Josh McDaniels showed up.
But
and
I like
drove it into a tree.
I like how he said last week when he was crying after the game, he said that, Josh McDaniels is doing way more winning than I ever have. I go, I don't know statistically if that's accurate.
As an assistant coach, it is.
Oh, you mean when he was the assistant for
the single greatest
winningest head coach in NFL history? Yeah.
Those Patriots coaches doing well. Devontae
That's
Adams,
like saying Steve Belichick has done a lot more winning than me. That's not accurate.
Did you see Matt Patricia's calling their plays now? The old defensive coordinator, because he was the defensive coordinator.
Explains why it's so hideous
He is a rocket scientist, too, by the way. That's actually fact. But
I I've heard that
Devontae
before.
Adams and Derek Carr, what amounted for 131 catches and 24 touchdowns his last year at Fresno State. I was like, I expected chemistry there, but we've seen nothing.
They're terrible.
By the way, Bing, just before we take a break, I'm just curious, did you have anything that you wanted to add to our conversation about the 2001-2002 Sacramento Kings?
Oh, Bobby Jackson.
Oh.
Vlade Divac.
Hey, Bobby Jackson, hell of a sixth man.
Yeah.
Is he one of the best sixth men of all time?
Chris Webber on that
Why
team.
are we bringing
Chris
the Kings
Webber-
back up?
Chris
Sacramento
Webber was
Kings, the old
dominant
Kansas
that
City
year.
Kings, Cody. It's a throwback to
Hey,
Kansas
look
City.
at this. Look at this stat line. This is Chris Webber's season-long numbers: 24 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block and a half per game. He doesn't get enough credit for what he did
That
in his
whole Golden
prime
State
years.
team of 2001, the Steph Curry-led team gets way too much credit. 2001 Kings where it's at.
Absolutely. Well said, Jay Binkley.
I'm glad we're discussing this 21 years later.
Well, you've
When
had
are we going to get to it?
You've had an entire radio career to address them. What's taken you so long? Oh, you just had so much other stuff to get to?
We didn't need to do
every topic you've gotten to has been more important than the 2001-2002 Sacramento Kings?
It might have been. When we come back, Jay Binkley mentioned a player, and I think he's got a really valid point about a trade the Chiefs made.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss Alex's That Betting Show every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Right here on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
Some of you have probably noticed we started video streaming our show as well on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. You name it. And one of the things we make sure looks good is the lighting. And one of those things that we have to be cognizant of is that we don't have the lights reflecting through Cody's glasses and showing up on camera. Fortunately, it's not something we got to worry about with mine because I don't wear glasses anymore. I don't wear contacts anymore. I've told you guys about the great staff at Dury Vision and how about 18 months ago I went in for SBK Advanced LASIK. I had a free consultation. 2 days later, I had my procedure that just took minutes. And then the next day I was driving into work, and now I see without contacts, without glasses. It is simply incredible. It's been the best decision I've ever made. And right now, don't forget, it's a great time to take advantage of open enrollment season. LASIK is an eligible expense under most of your flex spending and health savings accounts. So give Dury Vision a call at 913-491-3330 or just go online to duryvision.com. Again, 913-491-3330. And tell them Gold from 610 sent you.
Okay, we admit it. With literally thousands of different wines, craft beers, and fine spirits, Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstore can sometimes make it hard to choose. That's why we have certified sommeliers, cicerones, and spirits experts right there in the aisles to help. But one choice you will never have to make at Lucas is buying local or saving money. For 35 years, locally owned Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstores has been selling more beer, wine, and spirits in a week than some stores sell in a year. That's why we can sell it for less, way less. And while inflation is raising prices elsewhere, Lucas is holding the line or even lowering prices just in time for tailgating or a quiet fall evening on the patio. Shop local and save local at locally owned Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstores in the Northland, Overland Park, and South Kansas City. Online at lucaskc.com.
Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstore in a glass by itself.
A surprise proposal under the stars. A diamond ring symbolizing your love. A promise to inspire, respect, and love one another. Visit Chain Company to create a treasure that will hold meaning forever. We design our engagement rings in-house, so any style you choose will be a unique creation. We know a ring comes to life when it's set with a center stone that speaks to you. Chain Company offers the largest selection of center stones, natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, as well as natural gemstones including rubies, sapphires, peach morganite, aquamarine, and amethyst. We sell our center stones loose, so you can compare stones side by side and select the one that's right for you, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. A jewelry consultant will work with you to help you maximize your budget. Our free lifetime warranty even covers the center stone. Make this the holiday you'll both treasure forever.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Cold weather is here, which means cold weather inside your house. Stop paying those high heating bills and get new Energy Star rated windows like I did from the Window Source of Kansas City. With lead times back to normal, a best price guarantee, and a lifetime warranty, there is only one place you can choose. The Window Source of Kansas City. Call 913-333-6706 right now to get a free estimate. That's 913-333-6706 or go to windowsourceofkc.com.
Get more kicks out of every World Soccer match with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Soccer fans, it is the perfect time to check out FanDuel because new customers get $125 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Safe, secure, super easy to use, and you can bet on anything you like from the money line, goals scored to corners. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with what's called a same-game parlay. And best of all, you get paid your winnings instantly. So don't miss this opportunity. You can get $125 in free bets, win or lose, when you join with FanDuel, as long as you use my promo code CDOT. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app.
21 and present in Kansas. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 7 days after receipt. Max free bet ranging from $5 to $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code GOLF for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code GOLF. Use code GOLF for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sunny, breezy, and warmer. High today, 50.
Weather brought to you by one thing. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow.
This report brought to you by Max Motors. Vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. MaxMotors.com.
We have you covered at Max Motors. Getting your vehicle serviced from the comfort of your home or work is easy. We do all the work for you. Free pickup, vehicle service, and delivery within 50 miles. Reserve now at MaxMotorsTransit.com.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios. Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by Greenway Ford. It's a new day, a new way at the all-new Greenway Ford. Cody Tapp, Nick Short, Jay Binkley with you. He's here for the next half hour. Nate Taylor scheduled to join us at 1 o'clock today. We're all watching Mexico and Poland. Well, I am. Nick, did you put any money on this? You bet on one soccer game yesterday. It was Wales to beat the U.S. You lost that bet.
And then I doubled down on it after USA scored.
You lost that bet,
which I was told that was ill-advised. You know, the 10-1 odds I got should have been a dead giveaway, but I thought, wow, this is a
10-1. Anytime it's 10-1.
I was unaware that draws were not pushes like on other sports where you get your money back. So
Is Gold betting on every game?
You might want to turn your mic on.
Is Gold betting on every game? I'm sure he is.
He does seem like he's tweeting a lot about the World Cup. So
it was weird the way you got through the whole sentence, too. Before, like, did you not realize?
I'm just not used to this.
This is his
over
first
here.
day in his defense.
Well, we stole his normal
It's the
spot
first
with
time I've
our
ever-
camera
yeah.
input.
Well, Jed and I usually after Chiefs games, I sit in a different place.
Can everyone in this
All
building
night.
grow a good beard but me?
It does seem that way.
I've never seen Fesco with the beard. I've seen Kling with the stubble.
I think Clint could grow a good beard if he wanted to.
Can Gold
could.
grow a beard?
It's quite
Yeah.
good.
Quite
Gold's
good.
beard is
Really?
good.
Yeah.
I used to be just
He
fat,
hates
too.
it.
Very, very
I think he
full.
hates it only because his family hates it.
Have you not seen him with the beard? It's
No.
very full.
So the hating of like my family hated my beard, and then I just stopped caring and was like, well, it's my face. I don't know. I'm a grown man. What are you
Jed's
gonna
got a
do?
Great beard.
I don't
A lot
know
of
if it's
people need
great.
to go mustaches. That's kind of the new thing. I had to just go.
I'll
for the
do that.
longest
I'll
time.
probably do that for like. See, we're doing this for No Shape November.
Yeah.
So once that's over, I'll probably go just mustache for a little bit.
Because goatee and
Why not?
Just
goatee
because?
and the short hair, bald head is like the new mullet. I heard. Because I used to go be straight goatee.
Wait,
Now it's-
goatee and bald head is the
is
new
that,
mullet?
yeah, that's what they said a couple years ago. They said it's the new mullet. And I said, really?
Who's they?
They.
They said
The
it.
people. You know, they talk once in a while. When you say they say.
They all get together, huh?
Yeah, they do say they.
Hey, it's important. Binkley, I'm going to give you credit. You had pointed out a part of a trade that I think should probably be pointed out, but for maybe a slightly different reason. In the Orlando Brown trade, Nick Bolton was the pick that came back, or the pick that came back turned into Nick Bolton. And I think that, to me, that should mean that Brett Veach should have an easier time letting go of Orlando Brown Jr. this offseason. Because he got Nick Bolton, don't get hung up on the idea that you traded this first-round pick for a player that you might not pay. It's good. You got a starting linebacker who might start for you for a decade with this team. Who cares? You got 3 years of a starter as left tackle? Cool. That's better than most teams are going to get. Move on and just be happy with your life. Because the Nick Bolton part of this trade should make it easier to move on from Orlando Brown.
100%. And we get a lot of that stuff, the calls, after the game or something. Well, why would we keep Orlando? My question is always, well, name me who you would have had. Because the Chiefs were really stuck.
Oh, yeah.
That year. I mean, Liam Eichenberg was one of the talks about. Alex Leatherwood was one of the talks. He played guard. Now he's not even in the league. The Chiefs were stuck at left tackle. Another team should have realized it. And the Ravens look even dumber for making that deal. But the Chiefs had nothing there. And they didn't know what to do. They were going to have to essentially take a right tackle and make him left tackle that came out of the draft. And we know that wasn't real plausible with who was there. And so, yes, here comes Orlando Brown. That's great. But then you got Nick Bolton. And I don't want to hear, it was a bad trade. And allows me. No.
If I just told you a
great
first
trade.
rounder for Nick Bolton, how would you feel?
It was an absolute, it's a great deal. Nick Bolton's a first rounder.
I don't even mention Orlando Brown. It's a good deal.
Nick Bolton's, they needed defense. They needed linebackers. They got Nick Bolton here. So don't give me anything. Don't give me any crap about Orlando Brown working out or not. Nick Bolton, that was a great move by Brett Veach to bring in Nick Bolton. And people need to realize that. I said it as soon as he got here. People are going to forget the name Derek Johnson, how good Nick Bolton is.
Stop.
I'm not kidding.
He's the Chiefs' all-time leading tackler.
Yes,
That
it's
is
going to be Nick
ridiculous.
Bolton. No,
Big-
I'm sorry.
That is ridiculous.
Okay, Derek took
Nick
a while
Bolton
to get started.
is not even on the same. Isn't he? Is not on the
Are you
same
kidding
level
me?
as Derek
Early
Johnson.
in the career, look
I
at
think
the numbers.
play-wise he is.
He was better than Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson wasn't even a starter. He was in Todd Haley's doghouse when he was here. Derek Johnson's my all-time favorite Chiefs. I'm just saying Nick Bolton will make you laugh now. Say what you want, because a lot of people didn't like this take a couple years ago. Now they're starting to go, maybe Jay's right.
Hey, let me ask
And
you.
you know
let
what?
me ask
I
you
will be
something.
right.
Jay
because-
Binkley, you, my friend, just did one of the most offensive things that has ever happened on this radio show, on these airwaves.
No, you do it every day.
No. Hey, you know what? You know
Every day you're a fool.
You ate a chip live on the air again. You're on this side of the glass now.
More, and
You
that won't
set
be
the
last
bar
chip I
low
eat.
here. And today you've brought it even lower.
Do you know what today is?
It's the anniversary of Creed. It's at halftime.
It is Derek Johnson's 40th birthday.
Wow. It is the anniversary of the
And
Creed
you,
video.
on his birthday, decide to honor him by telling our audience that we will forget his name because of Nick Bolton's play.
I'm just saying. Listen, Derek's the all-time leading tackler. What I'm saying is Nick Bolton. Here's the thing. Nick Bolton, is there any more sure tackler the Chiefs have had in the last 7-8 years? Think about it.
No.
When he hits somebody, they go down. Like, I've seen so many guys bounce off Chiefs defenders and get extra yards. Nick Bolton's
You're
Velcro,
right. You're
man.
right.
He
But I will
grabs you,
say
he pulls
this.
your
You know
gun.
what else happens to
But
Nick Bolton a lot?
DJ a while. It took DJ a while.
You know what else happens to Nick Bolton a lot?
What?
He can't get off blocks.
He's already wearing the green dot in year 2, man.
I'm
What do you
just
have to say
saying.
about that, Nick?
He is great.
He went to Missouri.
You're
That's your
right.
problem. He
Hey,
went to Missouri.
you know.
That's your problem. Had he been a Jayhawk, he'd be the greatest damn linebacker of all time.
Listen.
Well,
okay.
now he's accusing you of favoritism
All right,
over
listen,
your
that's
school
fine.
fandom.
Let me address this entire take, though. So
Be
first
all
off, I will
hot.
say this. Happy birthday to Derek Johnson. I, for one,
I love DJ.
No, you don't.
I'm just,
No, you
I
don't.
do.
Don't
I'm
try
just
to
saying
backtrack
Nick Bolton
now.
will make you forget it.
That's not loving someone. Saying that they'll be a forgotten player.
Nick, don't talk to me about love.
What's that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I'm kidding, obviously.
Nick's in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Although Binkley has been in love more times than
surprised.
you.
I'm surprised Nick's not swiping right by now.
No, you told me that the first time you heard out I had a girlfriend.
I said long-term relationship. I said, get ready to download Hinge or Bumble.
No, you just said, hey, I got some advice for you. Swipe right. Listen, the idea.
I'm
first
shocked
off,
you're still with your girlfriend.
She's out of state.
Yeah, I do think this.
That's the shocking
Nick
thing.
Bolton is a sure tackler, but to act like he is some sort of superstar inside linebacker, I'm just not there. He gets stuck on blocks all
He had
the
over
time.
100 tackles last year and barely played.
He is a great open
He's the best
field
tackler on this defense. He's the best tackler in the AFC West.
Hey, but
Nick
here's the
Bolton's
thing.
becoming one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
There is
right before our eyes. So say what you want.
There is more to that position than just tackling.
Yeah,
he is
went
a
to
great
Missouri,
tackler.
Nick. That's your problem.
Here's what I will say. Having someone at a non-premium position play at a plus level does not negate the fact that you gave up a first-round pick to select a left tackle who you are not going to re-sign. I'm not saying that deal is an abject failure.
It's not
a success.
That's the thing, Nick.
No, it's-
who else were they going to take? Trent Williams, they tried. They tried till 2:30 in the morning to get him.
Okay.
Didn't work out. They had
All
to
right.
get a tackle from a rival.
Okay, all right. But listen, Nick Bolton has been a really, really solid draft pick.
Not solid. He's been great.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I'll give you that. He has been a great draft pick.
Thank you.
It does not negate the fact that you traded for a left tackle that you're now not going to re-sign.
But they had to, though. They were stuck between a rock and a hard place. And Sam Cosmi and Lee Meichenberg and Alex Leatherwood and all these guys didn't make sense at left tackle. That was a terrible left tackle market that came out in the middle of COVID. They hardly played, and people were playing left tackle that had no business to because they're really right tackles or guards in the National Football League. They were stuck. There was nobody for the Chiefs to put their left tackle.
The other part of it is it's like pretending like he's not played for them. You didn't just trade for a left tackle who never played for you. He's going to be a 34-game starter over a 2-game run that could culminate in another Super Bowl. I mean, if they win a Super Bowl and go to an AFC title game, how could it have failed?
Do you know what offensive
It's a
line?
massive success under those.
Do you know what offensive line is the highest graded on Pro Football Focus? Kansas City Chiefs.
I thought we canceled Pro Football Focus.
I was just saying, you know, they're
Only for Mahomes.
They're one of the top teams in the NFL giving up sacks. Matter of fact, the Chargers are number 1, and Chiefs got them 5 times. So, but they don't give up a ton of sacks. Yeah, Mahomes runs around quite a bit and does get hit, but sack numbers wise, not there. But analytically, they're graded very high.
That's the pass rush is really interesting to me because even I was surprised to find out that they're 4th in the NFL in sacks now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 8th in pressures, which means they do consistently get it, but they have to do it through non-defensive line means, which is not what normally great pass rush teams do. But I do kind of feel like we have to take some qualifiers off of it. Like, I don't think we need to just keep kicking around the idea that, oh, they disappoint me, and I'm frustrated by how much pressure they get. I'm like, they get pressure. They get more sacks than most NFL teams. They're a good pass rush. I don't think we need to be like, they're a good pass rush right now. We're 10 weeks into the season, and they are a good pass rush.
But coming into the season, we talked, they were going to have to manufacture it.
And they
That's
are.
L'Jarius Sneed blitzing, and Nick Bolton got 2 that one game. Leo Chenal finally got 1. He was the highest graded pass rusher in at Wisconsin, unless you've canceled CFF. But College Football Focus, because they do that too.
That's is that a real thing? College Football
It
Focus?
is, yeah, CFF. Yeah, they do college football, but he's been even has a higher pass rush grade than T.J. Watt. But this is what the Chiefs were going to do: have to manufacture, some form of a blitz to get to the quarterback, and that's exactly what they've done. I do think the big thing in the Chargers game was Mike Williams going out, so that allowed the Chiefs to start blitzing. Because remember, not until Mike Williams went out, they didn't really blitz because you couldn't throw all the kitchen sink because you needed that extra coverage for Mike Williams. Once he leaves the game, that's when the Chiefs are like, okay, Now we can get after Justin Herbert. And consequently, he was sacked more times than he's ever been sacked in his history, the 5 times. Chargers, number 1 in the NFL. They'd only given up 13 sacks all season. Before that game, the Chiefs got to him 5 times. And relatively, it was done within a half.
It's because Chris Jones has been dominant. I mean, that's the very
no doubt,
simple
Mr.
explanation.
Snowcone.
Really? I mean,
it's finally coming through now.
Snowcone Jones. Do you think he should be a legitimate Defensive Player of the Year candidate?
Yes.
Are you sure? Listen.
I always thought he's the second best interior defender behind Aaron Donald.
I think he's having a better season than
He
Aaron
is.
Donald.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, what's funny, we looked this up before the show. Micah Parsons is farther away from the rest of the field for Defensive Player of the Year than Patrick Mahomes is for MVP. Despite the fact he has 1 more sack, 1 more forced fumble, and he has a defensive touchdown. Now, those stats are better, so
Well, in
I'll
fairness,
give you credit, but
Jones, without a penalty for laying on a guy, would also have 1 more sack and 1 more forced
and
fumble.
also would have another sack. Would also have another sack in the Colts game if it weren't called back because he said mean words.
Mean words, Matt Ryan.
But just look at this.
He leads in mean words.
So look at this right here. This past week versus the Chargers, he has 2 sacks in the final 5 minutes and 15 seconds
You
of that
remember
game.
that game because he didn't say a word. Like he literally got straight up and went to the sideline.
So 2 sacks in the fourth quarter of a 1-score game versus the Chargers. Week 9 versus the Titans, he and Dunlap get that sack on Malik Willis that effectively ended the game.
And by the way, the Chargers, the toughest team to sack, and he still got 2.
Week 7 against the Niners, 4 minutes left in the game, he gets a sack. Week 6 versus the Bills, 3rd and 10, Bills are down by 3, 8 minutes left in the game, Chris Jones gets a sack. Week 3 versus the Colts, 4th and 14, would have ended the game, gets a sack on Matt Ryan, gets called for the unsportsmanlike conduct. That is 5.5 fourth quarter sacks for Chris Jones.
In money
this year.
time, he's been incredible.
Incredible. And aren't those the moments that should matter about winning individual awards
100%.
beyond just the stats?
100%.
It's you have to have the moments.
He's starting to
too.
get recognized from people around the league. You got to watch Chris Jones. I mean, even Collinsworth would admit it. He's the best defensive lineman in the National Football League. He's made such a difference for this team.
It is offensive, like truly offensive, that there's a bigger gap, as you mentioned, Nick. That's absurd. Like Mahomes is playing better at a bigger gap than the next closest quarterback than Micah Parsons is to the field. It's like everyone just decided Micah Parsons gets to win it. That's it. They just decided, it's his. Because we like him and he's really good and he's a pass rusher. And that's who normally wins Defensive Player of the Year. So we're just going to go there. Because I know Chris Jones plays some snaps outside, but an interior defensive lineman being near the league in sacks is far more impressive than an outside pass rusher doing it.
But to be fair, he's also got a lot of those sacks playing on the edge too.
Understandable, but he's not getting nearly the
But look at
edge
what the
snaps.
Chiefs- look at
What would he
Chiefs
have? He
doing
just played
against
edge
the run.
all the time, right? I know that last year was the conversation.
Should
when
we
he was hurt
try
and
that
everything
again?
else.
The Chiefs got the number 1
Maybe.
against the run a couple weeks ago, like 4th or 5th now. They always at 30, 31, and 29th against the run. I mean,
He's on
just
the best team in the
incredible-
NFL. He's on
the
a
incredible movement that they've had against the run.
He's been closing games out defensively.
Yeah.
Closing games out. The fact that we are just sort of done with this conversation is absurd to me. He is having a dominant season. By the way, PFF, we're uncanceling PFF. Chris Jones has a higher grade than Micah Parsons does this year.
He's the highest grade out of any defensive player, doesn't he?
He's like 92.3.
It's funny that people like PFF when it backs up their narrative.
I really only
That's
like
all
them.
I do. I only use it when it backs up
You know
my
what the most
narrative.
offensive thing you've ever said is? You remember when you said Kansas was going to win the Big 12? When I was in here that one day? That was hilarious.
That wasn't me.
It was you.
It must have been somebody else.
It was you.
Oh, Gold usually sits here. That's
No,
who
it
you're thinking
was
of. Yeah,
you.
that was
It
Gold.
was you.
So what
You
was
said
your question?
Kansas
No,
football?
So what
backed
was your
me up
question,
on the
Cody?
deal.
Cody, you had another question for
You
me?
actually asked me that question.
Hey, Bink, I think Cody actually had another question for
Okay.
you that wasn't...
I just had to get that
It
in.
wasn't about Kansas football. And that wasn't me.
I said it in, Nick.
I left my cup in the studio yesterday, Bink. When I came in here today, I went to go get it, and the lid was off. I was like, "Oh, that's weird. I wouldn't have taken the lid off of my cup."
Nick peeing it?
No, and then the straw was
What kind of
gone.
question is that?
Huh, and then the straw was gone. And I found the straw over by the computer where Nick sits, which means Carrington pulled it out of my cup, and he probably chewed on it, didn't he?
He chews on
Which
everything.
means I have to
There's
throw
like
it away.
50 pins that lay
He
around
chews on
here.
everything, but why would he chew on somebody else's straw?
I think he chewed on my straw. Why else would it be by his computer?
But that's so flagrant.
Who would touch somebody else's straw out of a cup? Nick, you wouldn't even want to touch a straw that had been in my
straw
mouth.
was in the cup.
In the
He
cup.
probably chewed the bottom of it, the bottom part of it.
So I have to throw it away. A dishwasher's not going to take care of somebody else's mouth chewing on my straw.
Are there chew marks?
I threw it away already. It's too late.
Guarantee you can't.
Did you examine for chew marks?
I wasn't worried about that.
Why do you have a reusable straw?
Have you heard of the metal straws?
That's weird. Having a reusable straw is weird?
That's good for
Because
the
I like the
environment.
earth.
Yeah.
Jed.
Somebody likes this planet. Somebody wants to preserve it, Jed.
Why don't you get one of those metal straws that people use?
I have some of those too. I just happen to have this one.
Cody's recycling goods. Meanwhile, you're just running through them. You're burning through all of the Earth's
Jed
natural
uses
resources.
recyclable straws. They'll be recycled.
I think he chewed on it.
I do too.
Should we get him in here?
Is that is questionable behavior, is it not? Extremely questionable behavior to chew on a strange straw that happens
You remember
to be
during
in
the
a studio?
pandemic and you guys were doing your
Would
show?
you put anything in this studio in your mouth?
That is such a weird. Can you cut that? Can you cut that, Jed?
Do you remember during the pandemic when you guys were all doing the show and then
Yeah.
Carrington was still doing it from here a lot of the times? And I would come in here because we did the virtual royals and stuff like that, and there was just pins everywhere. Like if
how many are we
Carrington's the only one, if Carrington's the only person in here, there's going to be pins everywhere. They were everywhere.
Because that straw was in his normal chewed up pin location. That's where he puts the chewed pins. So I have to assume he took my straw out of my cup and chewed on it. I know you were currently have or seemingly have some sort of issue with Bob based on the things he said about you on his show and the
Bob
things
was
you've
right
had to
about
retort
everything.
back as a result of that.
Bob
Yeah,
was
I mean-
right about everything too, by the way.
I mean, if I needed to stay relevant, I would take shots at talented people like myself as well. But I don't.
Wow.
I don't go
And
for
Bingley's
low
also
blows.
saying you were right. What, you think that he would smoke cigarettes and start bar fights?
No, I think Bob was 100% right. Nick
okay.
would totally do that. He would
Yeah,
walk
you
in
can
with
get some
guys
too,
bigger
Bing.
than him, and he would start crap because he's in with people that are bigger than him, and he would start crap thinking we'd finish it for him.
You want me to break you off a piece too, Bing?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, everybody can get some.
You're
Hey,
gonna
by the
fight
way,
everyone in the
Totally would be
building?
bar fight guy.
I thought you were going to be on my side.
With your
actually.
mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I never get in the fights though. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
true.
your friends at the fight.
Which is the exact accusation. Let's go. Leveled against me.
You're the smart ass, the total bar fight guy.
Yeah. Hey, Bink, before we get out of here and let you go and get on with your day, I was just wondering if I've always kind of felt this way, and I was wondering if you felt the same way. Do you think that Peja Stojakovic never got enough credit for being more than just a 3-point shooter? I feel like everybody just thinks he was this great shooter, but I mean, he had the 3-year
Not
span,
this again.
averaging 24 points
No,
per
I
game.
think his movement without the ball goes underrated.
I think
that's
so,
stuff
too.
that doesn't show up in stat books or anything.
No, and I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that years after the fact.
Yeah, your movement on the court, what you're doing, getting open, setting picks.
Yeah.
The footwork of Peja, I think, is completely underrated. I'm with you on that.
Some of the best footwork coming around screens and just like always being ready to shoot,
That's a
always in
Sacramento
shooting
Kings
position.
legend.
I'll
Absolutely.
apologize, Cody, for bringing up the Kings
Yeah, I
during
regret
Jet
it.
Talks. I really did not know that we were going to go down this rabbit
Well
hole.
said, Bink.
Thanks, Dick.
Could have talked about so many things. Derek Johnson's birthday,
We
the
did talk about
anniversary, the anniversary of the Creed halftime performance
We've talked about all of that.
on Thanksgiving Day.
And I'm the one who
and you
brought
spent
up-
a shocking amount of time on the Kings.
I brought up Derek Johnson's birthday.
Can you still sing it, Cody?
No.
Do you know all the
No.
words?
I like when Cody sings.
Well, that
I don't
makes
know.
you
He's very
one.
good at
I'd
singing.
have to think about it. I might.
What if I got an acoustic if I found an acoustic version, like an instrumental version of Higher?
Yeah.
Could
Yes.
you do an
Yes.
instrumental rendition?
Yes.
I bet you got the lyrics written out somewhere.
But he
right?
doesn't need the lyrics written out. He knows it.
I don't
don't
know if
think
I
he
still have the
does.
lyrics written
He
down.
could do it
I
from heart.
might still know it.
When's the last time you sang it? A year ago?
Yeah, but you got to think about how many times I sang
Yeah,
it.
he sung it a lot.
I mean, you certainly have some songs memorized, don't you?
Yeah, but no, I mean, you're not performing that song regularly.
No, but I did perform it.
I'm
A
just
lot.
asking. I was just
He
curious,
performed
man.
it on a stage with pyrotechnics
You're
and
so
stuff.
angry.
No,
roid
I'm
rage.
I was just trying to decide.
Are you coming to the Chili Fest at his house?
I think I'm actually going to be out of town that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Out of town?
Jed's going.
Yeah.
I know Jed's going
Be
to it.
out of town?
I'm
Yeah,
going.
I mean, you're just going to. Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay.
I feel like you're about to ask again.
No, it's just.
Is Gold going? Because
confirm
Jed
it.
and I have confirmed.
Alex is not confirmed. Every time I invite them somewhere, they don't come. And then when I don't invite them somewhere, they make a big deal
It's
about
who likes you and who doesn't. And obviously, Jed and I do.
Exactly. When we come back, Binkley, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
When we come back, let's talk more about the Chiefs, and we'll also get you what's trending around the entire world, I guess, at this point, because at least the World Cup will be involved.
This is Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss Royals first baseman / NFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino, this football season with Cody and Gold.
My Twitter is about to unload of football tweets. First Jets game that I have free on Sunday. It's go time.
610 Sports Radio.
Basketball fans can turn a loss into a win with the king of sports books. Just place a single first basket score prop bet on any NBA game. Your bet loses? No big deal. You'll receive up to $25 back in free bets. Wager confidently and take your game to the next level with BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. So turn that loss into a win. Place that single first basket score prop bet on any NBA game. And if your bet loses, you'll receive up to $25 back in free bets. Turn game time into showtime with BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in Kansas to bet. New and existing customers offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This is great. Is it broccoli? What's on it?
Gates salad seasoning.
Gates make salad seasoning?
Yes, we use Gates sauces and seasonings on all our vegetables, meats, fish, chicken, and more. It's the best. Gates sauces and seasonings are also gluten-free. Hey, where are you going?
To the grocery store to pick up my bottles of Gates sauce and seasoning. I'm grilling this weekend.
Pick up a bottle of Gates barbecue sauce or salad seasoning at your local grocer. If you don't see it, ask for it.
When you need a new roof, especially if you have storm damage, the last thing you want to hear from a roofing company is that it's going to be weeks or even months before they can get to it because of supply issues. Well, supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing. As one of the largest roofing companies in America, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. That means our warehouse has everything we need to do your job now. And because we stocked up before the supply crunch, we paid a lot less than anyone looking for roofing supplies now and can share those savings with you. No one in Kansas City can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing. And remember, at Shamrock, the first guy you meet at the door is the same guy who's going to manage your entire roofing project. One call does it all. Call Shamrock Roofing today or visit online at shamrockroofer.com.
One call does it all. Call Shamrock Roofing today.
This week kicks off Chiefs Week at Community Blood Center. Donate at a Community Blood Center donor center or blood drive now through December 2nd and receive a free Chiefs t-shirt and a chance to win Chiefs tickets. Make an appointment today at savealifenow.org.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric has the technicians you can trust and financing to fit your needs. Receive 0% financing plus a 12-year parts and labor warranty when you purchase a new cooling and heating system. Schedule online today at anthonyphce.com.
We asked Google Fiber customers what they think about their internet speed.
If someone walked up to me and said, "How fast is Google Fiber?" I would say fast enough that I don't notice it.
Google Fiber has simplified our lives and the speed has been exceptional.
Google Fiber isn't just fast, it's crazy fast.
Into fast internet? Sign up for Google Fiber today at fiber.google.com. Actual Google Fiber customer compensated for testimonial. Customer experience may vary.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios.
Hey, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being a part of a team, a group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metal Workers Local Number 2 are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
The difference between real custom jewelry at House of Diamonds and so-called custom jewelry elsewhere?
is like the difference between painting on a blank canvas versus paint by numbers. This is Gene at House of Diamonds. In our store, you don't pick from a collection of designs. Choose from a list of options. Send it off to who knows where for 6 weeks to be tweaked and call it custom. At House of Diamonds, you and we together design and create a one-of-a-kind custom ring, pendant, earrings, or necklace. And since 100% of the work from start to finish is done right here in our shop, we can deliver real custom jewelry in as little as 2 weeks, not 6, and can back it with a double lifetime warranty instead of a disclaimer. One-of-a-kind, real custom jewelry, handcrafted just for you, only at House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira, and online at mybigrock.com.
They say a good craftsman never blames their tools, and the best always choose the right one for the job. For the builders and makers of this world, nothing beats knowing you've got what you need to get the project done. Northern Tool is a problem solver's paradise. Hurry in now to catch our Black Friday deals, where we have the perfect gift for every solver in your life, from names like Honda, Milwaukee, and Lincoln Electric. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Kansas City, it's Mitch Holtis. The Chiefs Kingdom Show is back with Andy Reid, Chiefs players, and Hy-Vee. Every Monday starting at 6 this season on your official broadcast partner, the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
First up on what's trending, the World Cup in action today. Obviously, the U.S. doesn't play their second match until this upcoming Friday, but Saudi Arabia started off the morning right, pulling off a massive upset over Argentina, one of the biggest just general odds favorite upsets in World Cup history. And then, of course, Poland and Mexico just finished in a draw as well. So we're up and rolling here in the World Cup already. The U.S. is nobody else from their group playing just yet. And again, they don't play again until Friday on Black Friday against England.
Next up on what's trending, Robert Saleh, the head coach of the New York Jets, refuses to commit to Zach Wilson as the starting quarterback this Sunday against the Chicago Bears. This comes after Wilson, after the game this past weekend in which he completed 9 passes for 77 yards and the Jets offense scored 3 points. When asked if he felt like he let the defense down, his response was, no. Not, hey, I'm not going to go there. Hey, you know, it's a team effort. Just simply no. Saleh said, quote, we're keeping everything on the table over the next couple of days. This is, I think, quite the message that Saleh is sending not just to Wilson, but to the rest of the locker room, which is we've got a championship caliber defense. I am not going to have
this guy say he's not
kid
responsible,
who has 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, refuse to take any accountability and basically show the defense up, show the rest of the team up by saying, you know me, like that's all we ever want to see from quarterbacks do is just, and every quarterback, anytime the Chiefs have ever lost a game, what does Patrick Mahomes say? We all got to be better.
Because of our
I got to be better.
Yeah. First thing, but because of the bet between Vinny Pasquantino and Michael Massey that took place at 10:30 here on the show, I'm rooting for Zach Wilson to start, complete 15 passes, and the Bears to win, which would end up with both guys having to wear the opposite team's jersey for the first day of spring training down in Arizona. But yeah, it doesn't, honestly, you can't say stuff like that. You can't say, I hold no responsibility, and then hope no one notices. That doesn't work well. Next up on What's Trending, the Final Four. We know they normally plan these things out a few years in advance. Well, the next one up was the 2028 Final Four, which we learned this morning will be held in Las Vegas. Not surprising, obviously, as they hold a lot of major events, and that will be, I imagine, a hot ticket. The best news about any time a big event like this ends up in Vegas is there's never a shortage of places to stay, Nick. You know, in other cities where you might run into those, is there a hotel that I can afford somewhere in this city? In Las Vegas, that is very rarely the issue. They have fights, big matches, the Final Four, that stuff all the time.
People already go to Vegas for March Madness. That's like the 1 year.
Big sports books.
It might be a little difficult. Yeah, unless you're actually going to go to some of the games. And even though, the Final Four is not nearly as fun of an event to attend than the regional matchups.
Yeah, or
it's in a football stadium. And basketball games in a football stadium are for the absolute birds. I honestly.
Have you been to one?
Yes.
I've never been to a basketball game in a football stadium.
I've been to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and I've been to Jerry World.
God, that seems like it'd be an awful place to see a basketball game.
Dude, I would not. Seriously, I don't care. I don't care even if your team's in it. It is.
Save your money?
It's not worth it. It is not worth the $600 that you're going to have to pay to get in. Next up on What's Trending, Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel said yesterday that the Titans will prepare this week as if offensive coordinator Todd Downing will be available for Sunday's game, although they understand that might not be the case. Vrabel said, quote, "We will continue to work with how things with Todd as our offensive coordinator, but those things can change. I want to make sure everybody understands that. At any point in time, we can hear from the legal process. Those things can obviously change. I just want to make sure everybody understands that." They are obviously referring to Downing's status after he was arrested Friday morning on suspicion of driving under the influence after the Titans' Thursday Night Football win.
Obviously, that's a huge distraction for them moving forward. I bet they're kind of glad that ended up on a Thursday night game. So they got 10 days before they have to deal with it again. But for a team that is overperformed starting after their 1-3 start or 0-3 start, they don't need this kind of trouble.
Let me be perfectly clear here. Todd Downing is not going to lose his job.
No, he's not.
Would a player lose their job if they got a DUI?
No.
Would a player lose their job if they got 2 DUIs?
Maybe, but it's unlikely.
Okay,
depends on the level of player.
Would Derrick Henry lose his job after 2 DUIs?
No.
3 DUIs?
As long as nobody was hurt? No.
How many DUIs?
I don't know. I mean, there is a number, but I don't know what it is. And he just gets signed by somebody else who would be like, no, he'll be better for us.
With us. He was bad with them, but he'll be better for us.
That's normally how it works. Lastly, on What's Trending, Cristiano Ronaldo to leave Manchester United in what is reportedly a mutual decision. Jed, you're our resident soccer expert. MLS? We getting ready to see Ronaldo in the MLS? He's like the right age.
I don't think so. I mean, I can understand why you would think that because of the track record that's gone on with former European players coming over here to get a big paycheck. But no, I don't think it's going to happen.
Is he still too good?
He's still a pretty damn good player. I mean, Zlatan came back. He's the last one that I can really think of that would have been around that stature.
Fun too.
But Zlatan also came and dominated the MLS in very limited play and then went back overseas. So to me, I think Ronaldo is still probably going to get a paycheck somewhere overseas, but it'd be exciting. It gives me a little bit of pause, though, because I don't want the MLS to be viewed as a league where aging stars come to play. I want it to continue to grow and to actually see
where young stars go to the Premier League instead? Because it's been going that way, too.
I mean, I'd rather have at least young stars playing in the league and getting a spotlight to shine in America as opposed to just going overseas to begin with and getting aging guys. To me, that's always going to be the biggest issue is the popularity of MLS and obviously the paychecks that are drawn foreignly.
That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Nick, I know you don't watch a lot of soccer, but to be very clear, Zlatan,
Neither do you, by the way. And it's
No,
Zlatan. It's not Zlatan. I know more than you, actually.
He would have been your favorite player.
I know who he is.
Okay. Well, he said a lot of
because he's an arrogant SOB, Cody, is that why?
Yeah.
What about the guy?
And he said a bunch of insane stuff.
What about
it was great.
Zinedine Zidane, the guy who headbutted the other, he speared him.
Well, I mean,
He did
he's
headbutt him right in the chest.
actually a manager of a football club, and he last played, I think, in 2000. So he might be a little bit old, but I don't know if he'd be the draw necessarily in the MLS.
So, Jed, the key to show business, always know where the camera is. You know what I mean?
I can't get the.
And it's
I
totally
couldn't get the legs
not-
to work. I don't know what to tell you. I'll have to have Cody fix it during the break.
I can see your hand. I can see your.
So let's go
I can
fix it
see your
now?
Right hand. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know. I mean, do you think
No.
Nick can really
Host the show.
handle the
You
show
host
for
the show, and I'll fix his camera.
I
for
don't have
90
anything
seconds though, Cody? I don't know, man. We might get pretty far off the rails. We only have a 14-second delay.
We could just continue on with the show.
Also, am I really? I don't even work on this show regularly. Do people need to see me?
Yeah,
No,
you-
but
such a beautiful man.
one of your responsibilities moving forward will be knowing how to put the camera on yourself.
I know how to put the camera on myself. I don't know how to work the legs on it. I don't. That's. I
You
didn't
twist the bottom part, and then you push it up
Yeah, it's like a child lock.
in an attempt to.
I don't have any children. I don't know what
shorten
you want
them.
me to.
You have nephews or nieces.
I do have both of those, but that doesn't mean that I'm responsible for taking care of them.
Okay, I would tell you the lock on the legs. It works like a pill, prescription pill bottle. You kind of got to push down and twist.
What are you insinuating?
That you like pills, I guess, or that you've
Wow.
had pills, that you've taken a pill in your life.
You've taken
How dare you?
at least one pill.
You thought you pissed off Fesco,
It could just
man.
be Tylenol, man.
I'm coming for everybody today.
Clearly.
Got a couple days left before a few days of vacation, and Nick is ready to burn it all down.
Uh-huh.
We had asked this question to Binkley, and I think that this is what's going to make the rest of the NFL schedule kind of interesting, which is it depends on how serious you take the rest of the NFL, but how many teams you think can win the Super Bowl is probably going to dictate how confident you are in the Chiefs right now. We all put the Chiefs on the list. There's no question. I'm not talking about who can get to an AFC title game. I'm not talking about who can win their division. I'm not talking about who can win a playoff game or win 2 playoff games. I'm talking about how many teams, if I made you right now, and you lose money, right, for if you take too many, how many teams right now do you legitimately think have a chance to win the Super Bowl if you're narrowing your list? I still think it's 4, which is honestly a lot lower than normal years. The problem is the Chiefs clearly look like a team separated themselves from the rest of the league. Philly and Dallas, I'm almost more tempted, honestly, to put more teams inside of there in the NFC because I'm not sure who could end up somewhere else. But I really think that for me, it's those 4. It's Dallas and Philly, Chiefs and the Bills. Until Miami actually accomplishes something, it is very difficult to include them in that conversation.
So my initial count is 5. I have the Chiefs, the Bills. I have the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Niners. But then I'm like, well, can any of those teams from the NFC beat the Bills or the Chiefs? And I don't think they can. So actually, process of elimination here live on radio, I think it's only 2. The problem is that the teams in the NFC are built so much differently than the teams in the AFC. The Eagles and the Niners have probably the 2 most complete rosters in the NFL, but they don't have a superstar quarterback. That's a
But the
big, that's a
Niners
big
have
red
made
flag.
it to the Super Bowl with that,
Yeah,
not
and in the,
super
yeah,
impressive
and Cody, and
quarterback.
in the NFC, they can make it to the Super Bowl again.
But if they get there, you don't think they'll win.
Because that's what's going to be the biggest difference between anybody they play in the NFC. Cowboys
Because if I
included.
said how many teams could make the Super Bowl out of the NFC, I'm guessing your list is quite a bit longer. It's not just Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers, right?
Who am I missing?
Not Giants.
Not the Giants.
Seahawks.
Not the Seahawks.
Vikings.
Not the Vikings. The only team, honestly, I would entertain is
Bucks.
the freaking 5-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And that's only because Tom Brady exists.
Turns out that matters. Turns out there's a very, very strong correlation between quarterback play and postseason success. And I think that Dak Prescott's better than Jalen Hurts, and he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. But again, if you're giving me him in a 1-game sample versus Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, it's not that Dak Prescott can't play good or the Cowboys can't play good. It's that we just saw it, man, on display Sunday. Saw the same thing in the Titans game with Mahomes' rush. He will make the plays. The other quarterback won't. Same with Josh Allen. Josh Allen will make the plays at his position that those quarterbacks from the NFC won't make. I will take the Chiefs and the Bills versus the field. Now I will take them. I would have said the same thing a month ago. I don't care that the Bills have slid. They'll bounce back just like they did at the end of the season. We've seen the Chiefs do this too. You go through a little bit of a lull, you get right, and then by the postseason, you're the same team that we thought. My only question is, are we missing anybody from the AFC? Because remember, it was the Bengals.
Ravens, Cincinnati, Miami.
Not the Ravens. I'm not doing the Ravens. We've done this enough with the Ravens.
They just don't have weapons.
They don't have the weapons. And as good as they've been in the regular season, you want to talk about a team with a lack of postseason success? I don't want to talk about the Bills. I don't want to talk about any other team.
Ravens have never even made an AFC title game.
So the only other team I would entertain is the Bengals because we just saw them do it a year ago. So I don't care that they're having regular season struggles. They had regular season struggles last year. And then Joe Burrow went white hot to end the season and took them to the Super Bowl.
And I guess because they're not playing without Jamar Chase right now, it's more easy to believe that that's coming again. Because they had Jamar Chase and they were playing this, I guess, mediocre again. I would probably feel a little bit different. The thing is that when you look at the playoff field right now, Cincinnati would be the 7. The Chargers wouldn't even be in it. You once thought the Chargers were going to win the AFC West. You don't think that they could get hot like Cincinnati? Because Cincinnati hadn't accomplished anything either, you know? And I know you're a big believer in Justin Herbert, and you just watched them go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs, so you know that they're a quality football team. But it's just with them, it's too much failure. Like I can't overlook it. Like I can't overlook it anymore. Even if you want to because of the quarterback. That's not it. No one else. I mean, I could make an argument for Miami. I just think it's really hard if you're forcing me to do, because they still are undefeated when Tua starts and finishes a game. Like I kind of want to, if they beat Buffalo again in 2 weeks in Buffalo, I'm not so sure that we can leave them off that list anymore. I think it'd be disingenuous to leave them off the list. If they're capable of beating Buffalo 2 times in a year, they're capable of winning 3 playoff games. Because one of those games is going to be at home. Probably 2 of those games are going to be at home because they beat Buffalo twice. They got a real shot at the 2 seed.
Okay. But the 2 seed means you go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs in the postseason. You see that happening?
In the AFC title game.
Do you see Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel coming into Arrowhead Stadium and beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game for a shot at the Super Bowl?
The only thing I would say about this is the Chiefs have probably the youngest secondary in all the NFL. It feels like the youngest secondary in the entire NFL against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill could be problematic. So I don't think it's impossible. Do I see it? Would I predict it? No. But I don't think that's a good matchup. I think if you're the Chiefs, you would rather see the Titans or the Ravens or the Patriots or Cincinnati or the Chargers. The only team I'm not willing to say that about is the Bills because I think they're the second best team in the AFC. And they're more complete from a defensive standpoint. It would be a shootout. It would absolutely be a shootout. But whether or not, I think it's impossible, no, I just don't. I just don't. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we will have a conversation that we've had it before with the Chiefs. And I can't believe we're still having to have it. But first, let's get to a little All 32, brought to you by Anthony Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Technicians you can trust with your house keys. I know they lost, and I kind of thought maybe we were going to have this conversation on Monday. But Jeff Saturday almost beat the Eagles. It's a wild story in the NFL. Mike Tomlin was asked about him today because they got him this week, and he's like, I don't have an opinion on it. I like Jeff. Seems like a good dude, cool character. And then he just kind of stopped the conversation, which I think is interesting because to me, this is one of those, like we said yesterday, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, because that's what it feels like. It feels like he also thinks it's insane that Jeff Saturday is the head coach of an NFL football team. But I think one thing we've learned here is maybe I've overvalued NFL head coach just a little in the short term. I understand having a great coach matters, man, but when your bad coach is bad, I'm not so sure that just almost anybody, Nick, can't come in here and make a difference for his team. because there is no way I thought Jeff Saturday be 1-1 with a good win and an almost secondary win to one of the teams with the best record in the NFL.
You know what's so weird about the Jeff Saturday situation is that it sounded like it was basically a Jim Irsay decision when they made them start Sam Ehlinger over Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And then the second he hires his buddy to come
He's like,
in to
Matt
coach,
Ryan's better.
he's like, you can do what you want. That was clearly, I don't trust Frank Reich anymore, but I'm going to hire a guy I trust. And then, I mean, that's the one upside is Jeff Saturday's actually getting to do what he wants as opposed to having to just pull off whatever Jim Irsay wants to see him do. All right, so this is something that's concerning for me. Because last year at this time, it was actually like an exciting thing. Because do you know that there was a point in time last year, Cody, where the New England Patriots were the projected 1 seed? They were 9-3 at one point, and they were in line to be the 1 seed in the AFC. And they were sort of this hot story. Now, I know we weren't talking about it here.
But they were.
But it was the idea that the Patriots could end up being like a legit contender in the AFC. Obviously, they weren't. This year, things have went much differently, right? They started off pretty slow. I think they were 1-3 at one point. But now they won 3 straight games. They've also won 5 of their last 6. And it kind of feels like the Patriots going back to the playoffs. Now, they've got a really tough...
Fine, good.
They've got a tough stretch coming up.
No, I care.
They play the Vikings and the Bills again this year. It's not about you caring. It's just they've got a tough. I mean, they have to play the Bills twice still. They have to play the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Vikings. But I feel like we kind of wrote the Patriots off. Are they just quietly going to get back to like 10 wins and be in the playoff picture again?
Look, I think the short answer is yeah, they probably will, because I know it's easy to try to like mock Bill Belichick for his sub 500 record in total games, not with Tom Brady. But you name me how many other coaches you think gets that team to 10 wins? This year's Patriots team to 10 wins. And the answer is not many, man. It's maybe a couple, maybe it's Andy, maybe it's whoever.
They've given up 6 points in the last 2 games.
And that's it. They've
given up 23 points in the last 3.
This is why they were the single greatest dynasty of all time. Is they coupled having one of the most successful and talented quarterbacks of all time, obviously the most successful, but one of the most talented quarterbacks in all time in Tom Brady, and they coupled it with the single greatest defensive mind in NFL history. It's not that Bill Belichick always propelled Tom Brady to something he wasn't capable of doing offensively. Some of that was just straight up Tom Brady. We saw that. He left for Tampa Bay, immediately won a Super Bowl. He's had a ton of success outside of that. Tom Brady was going to be great almost no matter where he ended up. But they coupled that with the single greatest defensive mind in NFL history, which is what Bill Belichick is. He stops teams all the time. It's what he's known for. It's what he's great at. When you put those two things together, that's how you end up with 6 Super Bowl rings in a 20-year time period. But if they go to the postseason, I don't care. Because Bill Belichick may be the greatest defensive coach. They can't win.
Yeah.
They can't beat the Chiefs. There's no way.
I will feel the exact same way about him this year as I did last year. That's all 32, man.
Jeff's not going to do one?
I didn't tell him to do one.
No.
How good are the Vikings? Do you guys think that they're a real team?
Yeah, the guy's just ready at a moment's notice.
No,
Is Kirk Cousins, in spite of the fact that he's playing down statistically, is he the catalyst that the Vikings need? Or
No, they need him to not screw it up.
Right. See, that's my question.
And he has a hard time with that. He likes to screw it up.
Wow.
He has to fight natural instincts of screwing it up. Like his natural instinct is, I'm going to make a bad decision.
Yeah, listen, here's
It's not like the Alex Smith year, it's like, I'll just take care of the football and we'll see if we can grind out a win. Cousins tries to go and win it. And there's just so many times it backfires on him.
Yeah, I think that Cousins has one of those moments every single game where it's like, wow, you're the worst quarterback ever. That was the absolute worst decision that you could have possibly made. And those are the games, weirdly enough, that the Vikings end up winning. This is the worst he's ever played, but the Vikings are finding ways to manufacture wins. You brought it up earlier. Like, it's absurd that, I think it was Vinny brought it up, that the team who is 8-2 has a negative point differential. I think that kind of tells you everything you need to know about them. But I love it. I mean, I don't care. I would love it if they were in the AFC, because if they were in the AFC, I'd say, great, there's a 2-seed or a 3-seed that has absolutely zero chance of going to the Super Bowl. I'll cut off my pinky if Kirk Cousins ever starts in a Super Bowl. I will cut off my pinky.
I'm all in on the Vikings, though.
I said
I'm
this once,
the
man.
biggest Vikings fan now. I want them to make a Super Bowl. I want Nick to be pinkyless. I want this to happen.
How are you going to feel when I hold you accountable for this if Kirk Cousins gets to one?
I'm hoping Speck would step in and put a stop to it.
We don't have to do it on the air. We'll just go to your house, pop by the old apartment, get some loppers, take that pinky right off.
I know Cody actually backs up.
Will you cauterize the
wound? Yeah, I will. With just like a hot iron or something,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Cody at least backs up what he says on the air.
True. I once said if the Royals re-signed Alcides Escobar, I'll eat a hat. And I cooked and stewed and tried to eat a hat.
Well, you didn't eat the whole hat.
Not
but you at least
great.
Gave it.
Oh, I gave it a good,
okay, then fine.
solid effort.
I'll cut off my pinky, but you have to eat it.
I don't want to eat your pinky.
Let me finish. You can cook it. And you can remove the bones, so it'll mostly just be flesh. Just consider it.
Cody.
Just consider it, Cody.
Just consider it.
Yeah.
You'll really cut off your pinky if Kirk Cousins gets in there, but only if I eat it.
Yep.
Good times. That's all 32, brought to you by Anthony Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. When we come back, the Chiefs accomplished something so quick that even I think the rest of the NFL was surprised.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Subscribe and download all new episodes of Nick's Wavin' in the Wheat podcast, released every Thursday on the 435 Podcast Network and the Odyssey app.
In honor of Veterans Day, we're celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice by giving back to Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers is a foundation which helps America's heroes by providing homes to first responder families. Get to Twin Peaks and donate $5 to Tunnel to Towers through November 30th and receive $5 back to spend on yourself at Twin Peaks this December. Visit your favorite Twin Peaks for more information. Valid at participating locations. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
When choosing a roofing company, time is money, so choose the best. Century Roofing has been voted winner for Best Roofing Company in Johnson County. You'll get quick and reliable service with outstanding technical expertise. We house all materials on site, so there's no unexpected delays. Be confident you made the right choice. Schedule an estimate from the best. KC-based and female-owned. Online at centuryroofingkc.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, we are here. Here for spring fevers and lowering fevers. Here for first checkups and first dances. Here for planting seeds and growing communities. For more than 80 years, Blue KC has been here for good and will be here for the moments that matter, today and tomorrow. Because at Blue KC, we are here for good. Learn more at hereforgoodkc.com.
Slow internet is nonsense. For fast internet, switch to Spectrum Business. Thousands of consumer-initiated tests confirm Spectrum delivers the fastest speed in the nation. That's right, Spectrum delivers the fastest internet speeds in the nation. Switch to Spectrum Business and get 600 megabit per second internet for your business. Only $49.99 a month when bundled. No hidden fees, no contracts, no nonsense. Just the fastest internet speeds in the nation. Visit business.spectrum.com/ultra. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Are you looking for a truly special holiday gift? Then come to Shane Company for stylish, fine jewelry. Right now, we're featuring a curated selection of jewelry at a great value for Black Friday. These gifts range from $250 to $500. We have a dainty necklace with a stunning black sapphire and diamond accents for $390. What makes this piece so special is the black sapphire. It's a natural sapphire and the color is intense. Make it a complete set and get the matching earrings. We offer a new twist on the paperclip trend with a matching necklace, bracelet, and earrings in gold vermeil. The sky blue topaz accents really make these pieces unique. Our stacking rings are a lot of fun, from the yellow gold contour ring to the rose gold ring with a hammered finish. Visit Shane Company to see all of our holiday gifts, from under $250 to over $500. Or shop online and enjoy fast and free shipping. Your gift will be a treasure.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Get more kicks out of every World Soccer match with FanDuel. Soccer fans, now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. because new customers get $125 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and simple, easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to goals scored to corners. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. Best of all, you get paid your winnings instantly. So don't miss your chance to get $125 in free bets, win or lose, when you join FanDuel with promo code 610BOB. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued on non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
I'm Steve Hedgepeth with Quad Power Products. People know us for excellent customer service for their hydraulic hoses, couplers, adapters, and accessories. We also offer hydraulic cylinder service, where besides resealing, we actually recondition your cylinder by honing and polishing all sealing surfaces. We also bench test each repair before handing it back to you. All of that with a full 1-year warranty. Come to Quad Power Products in South Kansas City on Hickman Mills Drive. Find us on the web at quadfluidpower.com.
One long wintry night, we put hot cinnamon apples on top of the thickest and fluffiest French toast available at IHOP. Try our new thick and fluffy ginger snap apple French toast today. Part of our holiday menu. Let's put a smile on your plate for a limited time at participating locations.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See local Boost Mobile store for details.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
This report brought to you by Max Motors. Vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. MaxMotors.com.
At Max Motors, buying a new car, truck, or SUV is easy. Buy any new or pre-owned vehicle with zero money down, zero payments for 4 months, and the lowest interest rates available. Hurry in with over 1,000 vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. MaxMotors.com. See dealer for details.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, 610 Sports Radio, 610sports.com. Cody Tapp. Nick Schwartz is technically here. There he is. He's back. And Jed Marshall in studio with us. Nate Taylor coming up in 30 minutes. We got Jed's camera fixed just in enough time to steal it again when Nate Taylor comes back. So say hi to the people, Jed. If they're looking at the camera right now, they should be able to see your face. Is he actually on the camera now, Nick? Are we successfully able to see Jed?
Yeah, he looks really good.
I doubt that.
Let's rank our beards, 1 through 3. How would you rank them, Jed, in
pretty
order
obvious.
of quality?
It's pretty straightforward.
So I'd go Nick 1, clearly, me 2, and you 3.
Me 3? You'd have the same?
No, I was going to have Jed 1.
Oh, okay.
And I really was just saying Nick because I didn't want to sound like an AH, but I definitely think my beard is better than Nick's. He actually manicures and grooms his, so that probably gives...
Yours is a little unruly.
This is freshly trimmed like a month ago.
Freshly trimmed a month ago.
Mine's also a month old.
Hey, you know what? In that regard, so is Cody's.
It's looking strong, Cody.
Look, in some way, this is better than it was a week and a half ago, right?
That's so embarrassing.
I'm not sure that it is. But
Like, I feel like your child literally has more facial hair than you do. The boy child.
It's probably the same, which is 0. Rob Collins was or who was this? Was this Rob that was asking me this question? Oh, no, Pete. So we were out at that event on Friday night, and Pete Sweeney and I were, and he said he was trying to get me to unbutton, trying to get me to go one button lower on my dress shirt.
What's happening here?
And he's like, no, show a little chest. I said, Pete, there's no chest hair there. So no one wants to just see my pale white chest. That's held for the people. He's like, so wait. So he's looking at my beard and he's like, that's not a beard. He now knows I can't grow chest hair. He's like, this might be a personal question, but do you grow hair anywhere? And I said, what does that mean?
You don't have alopecia. I mean,
yes. I don't have back hair.
What about
or chest hair? I don't really have much arm hair. I would say the leg hair it's there. I definitely have leg hair, but I'm not, it's not as hairy as other people.
It seems like you are moving north to south in body regions where you would have hair, but you skipped one region.
I don't think we need to do this.
See, Jed, voice of reason.
Do you have hair on your ass?
No.
Straight, like baby's bottom.
I mean, I don't regularly look at it, but yes, it's pretty smooth.
Do you wax your ass?
I do not. Do you want to have asked that question?
Isn't this why we got the live stream so that we can get visual imagery of this?
What are the rules on that? Am I allowed to show my ass to this camera?
It's on the interwebs.
You can show crack, but you can't show the whole crack.
Put it on your OnlyFans, Cody.
You can show like top.
Why
of crack.
do you know this?
Well, I thought everybody knew this.
No, I've never researched exactly what you can show on the internet for, I guess, public-facing social media profiles. Also, I don't want that up forever.
Why?
I don't need that on the internet forever.
You're ashamed of your butt?
I'm not ashamed. It's a perfectly normal butt. I just refuse to put it on the internet.
Breaking news sounder.
For strangers. This is where at least the change is. Anyway, coming up in 20 minutes, Nate Taylor of The Athletic will join us. But very early on in the show, we briefly touched on this, but it bears very significant importance because the fact the Chiefs have won the division already puts the rest of the AFC on watch in perpetuity. And the reason, like, you remember, you think I say AFC West. No, it goes much further than that. This is how the Patriots kept hosting these games. This is how the Chiefs have hosted 4 consecutive AFC title games. They don't have a contender in their division. That's it. They just don't have a contender who's going to compete with them, which means they're going to win the division every year, which means they're going to the postseason every year. And if you win your division, you got a 1-3 shot of being the 1 seed most likely. And if you're the Chiefs, if you're the 1 or the 2 seed, there's a pretty good chance, like there has been the last 4 years, you're going to host the AFC title game. This thing is a lot bigger than just winning the AFC West, because they might win the AFC West for another 3 years, because 2 teams are dead. Barring Russell Wilson having a Freaky Friday situation or a Monstar situation, all of a sudden his talent returning to him, or the Raiders drafting a great quarterback in the next draft, they're screwed. And the Chargers, as much talent as they have had, can't get out of their own way. So they feel like the only main contender for the Chiefs over the next few years, and they constantly feel behind the 8 ball. And if that's the case, Nick, they're just going to keep hosting AFC title games, right? And a certain number of those are going to end in Super Bowl trips. And a certain number of those Super Bowl trips are going to end in another Super Bowl. That's the way I view it right now. Their dominance over the division is going to get them another Super Bowl.
So the 3 AFC West opponents for the Chiefs ranked 2nd, 8th, and 12th in off-season spending. And the only reason the Chargers weren't higher is because a lot of theirs were trades with, and they got Khalil Mack. I think, was Sebastian Joseph Day a trade or a sign? It doesn't really matter. The Raiders were 2nd, and the Broncos somehow were 7th. I don't know how the Broncos weren't. Is that just because they re-signed?
Yes, correct.
They re-signed.
He wasn't a free agent
Russell Wilson,
spending.
so he wasn't. Now, if you
they would be first with a bullet.
If you would have included him, then he would be, first, and the Raiders would be 3rd behind just the Rams, and that's not paying off. So maybe that's what it goes to show. Look at all the teams who are at the top of like the offseason spenders. The Rams, the Raiders, the Browns, the Cardinals. the Packers, the Jaguars, the Broncos. All of these teams suck. They all suck, Cody. So if there's one lesson to be learned, it's just don't ever spend money, ever, in the NFL. Don't ever hand out big contracts.
Never?
Don't ever be aggressive. No.
That's your takeaway?
Yeah, I guess so. What other takeaway am I supposed to have?
Miami seemed to spend quite a bit.
Yep, I've skipped them. They were fourth.
It didn't seem to bother them.
Well, it didn't fit my narrative, so I skipped them. But yeah, they were fourth in off-season spending. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to this. The Chargers are the ones that are honestly most surprising, which maybe not be fair because they're probably still going to make the playoffs. They're 5-5. And they only really have one bad loss on the resume.
They should not feel like they should probably most likely make the playoffs because they're too talented for that.
I agree. But I still will trust them over a lot of these other teams at the bottom of like the AFC wildcard race. I trust the Chargers are a better team than the Patriots, right? The Chargers are a better team than the Jets. I still think they'll squeak in.
I do think that they will, but you just mentioned the Patriots and how they just seemingly win and then get to the postseason one way or the other, even though they don't or shouldn't under any circumstance because, well, Bill Belichick's very good at his job. But, I mean, if I'm the AFC West, like what is – I'm dead serious. What is the light at the end of the rainbow? When can you realistically say we're going to take this division away from the Chiefs, barring some major injury? Don't give me the hypothetical that says Mahomes goes down or Kelsey goes down or Chris Jones goes down. If it's not those things, when are you getting it? They collectively spent so much money and still are stuck. And I see the text line saying, can we really trust somebody who plagiarizes to give us real AFC West takes? I addressed this on the show yesterday.
They're talking about you.
I did not plagiarize. I happened to send a shockingly similar worded tweet as one Ken Swanson, who I have spoken to on the matter. I'm not totally sure he's fully bought my explanation.
You did reach out to the person whose content you stole from them?
I did not steal his content. I let him know that I did not mean to so closely word my tweet in relation to his, as I had not seen his tweet when I had sent mine.
Huh. It's interesting.
Why is that interesting?
Well, I mean, your tweets were nearly identical, so
I am aware.
So that would be why it was interesting.
Okay. Well, anyway, tell me the next year. Tell me the next year you think. Just give me a year right now. The next year that the Chiefs lose the AFC West. The year is 20 what?
Well, the Raiders have absolutely no immediate path forward. Honestly, the Raiders.
Neither do the Broncos.
The Raiders' best bet would be hoping, like drafting a quarterback, and then that guy being like a franchise-changing quarterback. Which, good luck.
And that might not even get to the postseason because they hasn't gotten Herbert there the last couple of years. They're going to have to fire their coach to
right.
still
Think
do
about that. That to me is what is so absurd. Is that he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, top 6 quarterback in the NFL?
Probably.
What he is he is a guy who, if you're drafting in the top 10 and you get a quarterback, that's what you hope to get. Because some teams end up with Josh Rosen when they draft a quarterback. Some teams end up with Zach Wilson.
Mitch Trubisky
when they draft quarterbacks in the top 10. So to have a top 10 pick, end up with Justin Herbert as your quarterback, that went about as well as you could hope for it to go, yet you still have nothing to show for it.
So what's the year? 20 what? Both give it to me. Jack, give me an answer. What year is it that the Chiefs lose the division if you have to guess right now? My guess is 2026.
2024.
What happens in 2024?
I think Andy Reid retires.
Ooh, he's calling for an early. Does Andy Reid has never given a single inkling that he would ever retire. I feel like he's going to do this for like another 7 years.
What, is he supposed to be dropping nuggets for you the whole time?
No, I
getting
feel
close,
like,
guys. That would be funny if every year he's like, I don't know, I'm not retiring yet, but I'm getting close.
I'm really thinking about it.
I hate this.
But it's the opposite. It's Andy Reid's entire identity. Because he genuinely loves his job.
Nobody disagrees with that, but I'm just saying, like, eventually, like, people get old and they're like, I don't want to work anymore. Or maybe his wife's like, I don't want you to work anymore.
My answer is 2026. Jez is 2024. What's your year?
Oh, man. I'll split the difference and go 2025.
Oh, that's such chicken.
Why?
Because
You could have been bold. You could have said 2031.
Okay, this year. I think they fall apart down the stretch of the Chargers win it. How's that?
And that was
How's
bold.
that for bold?
That would be bold, but it would also be wrong.
Cody and Bold. That's me now.
That's usually when Pete's.
Yeah, well, that's me now.
Wait, you're just stealing his
Yeah, I'm bolder
nickname?
I'm bolder than Pete.
When Binkley used to come in, it was Cody and Old.
That's
Why don't you just
rude.
get your own one?
No, I'm Cody and Bold.
That's Pete's.
All right, Chody and Bold.
I'm not letting you change my name.
Well, okay, then.
My name is still the same.
I'm bolder than Pete.
Just choose something that
Let me ask you
rhymes
this.
with
Do
bold.
you think Pete's bolder than me?
Yes.
What about Cody and Trolled?
That's actually a really good one. All right, Cody and Trolled.
That's what you want to go with?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am bolder than Pete. And I'll say that to his face.
Pete's going to join us tomorrow?
Yes.
Will you tell him that tomorrow?
Yes, you know I will.
Why do you think you're bolder than Pete?
I don't think Pete says
How many
anything.
bold things have you done?
Many. I've done many bold things. I push the envelope all the time. Is there anybody at the station who pushes the envelope more than me? Answer that question.
I mean, it depends on what your definition of that is.
Cody.
You're near the top of the list of people who...
Who else is?
I don't know. I don't want to think that hard about it.
All right. Well,
I'll give you some stat. Let's do the random question of the day.
Random question.
All right, for you, Cody, for you, Jed, and for you on the Jay's Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-767, and to anybody who is watching in our live stream on the 610 Sports Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch pages. This one came to us just from a couple minutes ago on the text line, and this is a good one because...
Important.
Some of my favorite stuff that we do is when we crowdsource things. You guys helped me crowdsource a cornhole team name for the league that I joined this past summer, and it went really well. We ended up with the Sack Daddies, which I thought was a very humorous name. Well, this is a little bit more important than naming a cornhole team.
Okay.
Because somebody from the 816 just texted into the show about 15 minutes ago, and they said, hey, I'm at the hospital. My wife is giving birth. We don't have boy names. We are kind of liking Gabriel, Luca, Elijah, and Emilio. Need help, please. So, my random question of the day is...
What should this guy name his kid?
First off, should this guy be texting into a radio show while his wife is actively giving birth? That's not the question. But also, what should this guy name his son?
Birth can take a while, so I'll let the texting into the show be allowed here.
Okay. Do you think they have it on in the birthing room, in the delivery room?
Let's make some soothing. We should talk.
You think his wife's
soothing.
like, yeah, instead of like having like a birthing playlist, she's like,
Just
so will you
us.
just turn on Cody and Gold?
Well, I'm sure she's having a great day while, giving birth and hearing about Cody's ass, too. That was probably really made the moment.
It's
Really
not
big
anything.
moment.
It's not anything more gross than what's already going on in that room. Okay. They said that the four names they like are Gabriel, Luca, Elijah, and Emilio. So I'm not going to make this random question of the day just about those four names unless you love those names.
Open it up.
Let's open it up. Come on. They got four names, but maybe the reason why they haven't picked one yet is because they don't really love any of those four names. They just kind of like them. So boy names. Come on. Keep them
First
coming.
two people on the text line say Alcides, as in, I assume, Escobar, and Nick, your very name. How fond are you of your name? How strong do you think your name is?
I think Nick's a really strong name. It's a biblical name. It's also, you don't meet a lot of Nicks. Like, Nicks, but it's not like Tyler, where you know a million Tylers, or I don't know.
Quite a few Nicks.
Kyles. I know like a million Kyles.
I'll say this. Like, like normally this is the time you suggest your name, but I've already made this very clear. Cody is a really good name for a kid. Makes a lot of sense when they're
Not
like
great for an
5,
adult?
6, 7. You get to a certain age, and Cody is not an adult person's
Well, okay,
name.
what other names?
It is a child's name.
What other
It will
names fit
forever
that?
be a child's name. And so, like, my name will age horribly.
I've got two other ones that fit that billing. I think Kyle is the same way, and I think Josh is the same way.
Interesting. Josh, you feel that way, huh?
How many 80-year-olds you know named
I
Josh?
think a lot of the newer popular names are going to run into that. Jackson or Caden, like those kinds of names are not going to sound normal for like 62-year-olds. Like, and I assume that it's the same for like every girl that I went to school with, like named Ashley, Brittany, or Tiffany.
Okay.
Like Tiffany's going to be a weird name for a 63-year-old, right?
All right, so we got some good ones coming in here. So I hope you're still listening, sir. If you are, if the baby's crowning, step out right now. because I mean you need these names right now.
Someone says don't name him Justin.
Okay,
He'll be
so here-
athletic according to Cody.
Yeah, it's true. Some of the names we're getting are Chalupa Batman,
Okay.
Astrid Big Daddy, Maximus Aurelius, Julius.
I like Julius. That sounds like kind of like they're, like you think Caesar, right? Kind of a badass.
Yeah, Blaze, Thaddeus, Legarius.
Blaze is taken. That was Ben Zobrist's kid's name was Blaze.
Oh, so it's only one name per child or one.
No, I'm just saying there's already like,
How does that work?
Kansas City who named their kid Blaze. So I feel like,
Garen.
move off from there.
Jax, like so plural, multiple Jacks. They'll be like, "Where's the other Jacks?" He's like, "No, it's just me. I'm Jax." Like, wait, where's the other one? All right, Nurgle. I feel like I'm going to accidentally say something that has a meaning that I'm not familiar with.
You're going to end up naming some.
It's going to be highly offensive. Golder. Dude, these are the most millennial names ever. Dude, Jax, Nurgle, Asher. Actually, Asher's not that bad. Golder.
A friend of mine's got a kid named Jax.
That's when I was calling high school football in Lawrence and you would see these rosters every Friday.
Jax was pretty common.
Oh, but it would be like Jaxxyn. And it'd be like Jackson. Or just like they would start
do that.
They would start spelling names without vowels.
We haven't mentioned any unisex names. How are we feeling about those? Like Jaden or Alex. The other host who's not here.
How about Scooby?
Scooby is not a name for a person. Should we give this guy real advice?
Oh, Scooby is such a fun. I don't know why that's so funny.
What about Levon? You're naming him after Patrick Mahomes, but making it less obvious.
No, don't name your kid after an athlete. Josephus.
Is that a name? Josephus?
No, but it doesn't need to be a name. Make up your own name. It's your kid's name.
Someone's saying Malachi.
That is a biblical name, so that's strong.
Just makes me think of Children of the Corn. I think that's like the main evil kid.
I'm a big fan. Some of these names, I don't know if they're made up off the spot. Throckmorton.
Well, I like how that was the one that was the tipping point. It wasn't Nurgle. It was whatever you just said, Throckmorton.
Text making a good point. Can't be Gabriel Davis because Gabe Davis always torches the Chiefs. Can't be having that. Not only don't name your child after an athlete, be very careful about naming him after somebody who you're going to dislike.
So my favorite so far would be Nurgle, Chalupa Batman, and what's the one I just named? Throckmorton. Snard. What about Snard? Okay.
Now people are just
It has to be
suggesting
Throckmorton or
characters
Snard.
from Disney movies. It's just Mufasa and Aladdin. Someone's suggesting just Pharaoh. Just naked Pharaoh.
Bocephus, Royceves.
These are real names.
Oh, dude, LMNOP. That's actually a pretty strong one.
No, you don't want to do that to your kid.
Mm-hmm. Rufimus. Is that a Disney character?
No, I don't think that's a name.
Rufimus?
I don't think Rufimus is a real name. No, I think you're just choosing the random things on the text line now that make this.
This guy.
Could you imagine this person
needs
suggesting
help.
naming their kid Wolverine?
This guy needs
Could you imagine
help.
just like Wolverine Schwert?
No, I can't imagine being Wolverine short.
What's the shortened version of that?
Wolvie, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point by
Oh,
Carrington.
cameo by Carrington Harrison, if you're not watching online.
If you give them a weird name, just give them a normal middle name.
If you're listening, I feel like we've given you so many.
A lot of choices.
My only advice would be just don't give your kid like a nickname. Like my given name is John. And so the worst day for me was the first day of school. Not only because school started, but yeah, John Marshall, I go by Jed. Chad, Jeff, Jeb, Jed, Jude, Ted.
Johnny?
All of these things. I'm like, no, it's Jed,
should just-
J-E-D. J-E-B, so it's Jeb. So for like 4 days, it was Jeb. No, it's with a D, but either way.
You know
Did
what
you almost have a different name? Did your parents ever tell you they were going to call you something else?
No, I think my parents told me that if I was a girl, I would have been Kelsey. So if I ever decide to become a woman, I will change my name to Kelsey.
You'd be an ugly woman.
Well, I would probably have work done.
I'd hope so. You need some if you're going to become a woman.
Thank you. they're saying I'm masculine. I like that. I actually just like the idea of just putting an S. Make whatever name you pick, just put an S on the end of it. Like, can you imagine if your name was Cody's?
I don't.
Like, don't you think Bryant is kind of a BS name?
Why?
Because they just put
a T on Brian?
Yeah, because it's just Brian.
Well, Brian's
with a T on the
boring.
end. Like, what if your name was Steve? You can't just be Steved.
No, but the letter doesn't work there. It works with Brian.
I think Brian works as a last name.
They add an N to Steve and call people Steven. It's not that crazy.
I think Steven came before Steve, Cody.
Probably right, but I'm just saying sometimes letters can come at the end. We're not all stuck with the same names over and over again. That's the random question today, brought to you by the window source of Kansas City. When we come back, our guy Nate Taylor of The Athletic joins us.
There's Kelsey to the end zone.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Looks like it's jewelry sale season again. Yep. That time when jewelry stores come out of the woodwork with so-called once-a-year savings of 20, 30, even 50% off. Question, doesn't that mean then that their prices are normally 20, 30, even 50% higher than they should be? Hi, this is Gene at House of Diamonds. We don't play those games. Our prices every day are like other stores' so-called sale prices. We buy our diamonds direct from the cutters, choose only the best 5% in each grade, and pass the savings on to you. Nearly all the jewelry we sell is designed and crafted right here in our shop. No big name designer markups here. And our diamond jewelry comes with a double lifetime guarantee and more free Diamond Club services than I can list. So the next time you hear about a big jewelry sale, thank them for letting you know how much extra they normally charge, and then come see us at House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, we are here. Here for spring fevers and lowering fevers. Here for first checkups and first dances. Here for planting seeds and growing communities. For more than 80 years, Blue KC has been here for good and will be here for the moments that matter, today and tomorrow. Because at Blue KC, we are here for good. Learn more at hereforgoodkc.com.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa has landed at Zona Rosa. Make your reservation now to see Santa in his winter wonderland. Reservation recommended. Learn more and book your visit today. ZonaRosa.com/Santa.
Hi, KC Tailgate Nation. It's Mitchell Schwartz, and this season I want you to try a twist at your tailgate by adding turkey to the menu. Turkey brings big flavor to the grill with tons of tasty options that your crew will gobble up. Smoked turkey wings, buffalo turkey dip, pulled turkey tacos, and even turkey burnt ends. The possibilities are endless. Check out great recipes and register for the ultimate turkey tailgate prize pack at tailgatewithturkey.com. That's tailgatewithturkey.com.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios.
This week, raise a glass to your home team's Tully touchdown with Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, smooth sipping Irish whiskey. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, imported by William Grant & Sons Incorporated, New York, New York.
Your love isn't confined to an advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support Kansas City families all year long at lovebeyondkc.org.
If you have been diagnosed with prostate cancer, see the best in KC. Getting an opinion from the experts at KCUC can be crucial to ensure you are getting the best possible prostate cancer care. At Kansas City Urology Care, we are making it as easy as possible to do just that. Call 816-PCA-KCUC or visit kcuc.com. Trust the surgeons at KCUC who diagnose and treat the most prostate cancer in the region, who pioneered robotic prostate cancer surgery in KC, having done over 2,500 cases, and who has the only independent radiation treatment center in town, giving patients the best possible cancer treatment in the fastest, most convenient, and affordable manner. The world-class urologists and radiation oncologists at KCUC are here to help you and your family. Call us today at 816-PCA-KCUC. That's 816-PCA-KCUC to schedule a consultation, or visit kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, we are here. Here for spring fevers and lowering fevers. Here for first checkups and first dances. Here for planting seeds and growing communities. For more than 80 years, Blue KC has been here for good and will be here for the moments that matter, today and tomorrow. Because at Blue KC, we are here for good. Learn more at hereforgoodkc.com.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. You might think this sounds too good to be true, but we think it sounds like Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. It feels amazing and is so gentle you can wear them all day just like your other favorite Skechers sneakers. And not only will you be getting the massage, you'll also be getting Skechers' other famous comfort features, like a special luxury insole that offers extra support for 24/7 comfort. Plus, they come in a variety of fashionable styles, including lace-up and slip-ons, and they're machine washable for easy care. Get a bonus massage in every step with Skechers' new Massage Fit. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
Hey, this is Chris Jones, and you're listening to the official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Final hour here of Cody and Gold. Cody Tapp, Nick Schwartz with you. Jed filling in for Nick. Nick filling in for Gold. But it's Tuesday. No one filling in for Nate Taylor. He's here anyway. You can read his work over at The Athletic. You can catch him on Monday nights for the Nate Taylor Show. Nate, how the hell are you?
I'm here, man.
You got to talk to coordinators today. Kind of weird Tuesday for you.
Yeah, I got full-on jet lag, y'all. My flight was last night. We talking to coordinators on Tuesday so that
your whole week's thrown off.
So we can get Thanksgiving. It's wild, man.
What are you responsible for on Thanksgiving at the house? You got to do anything? You got to cook anything? Prepare something? Clean the house?
No, I'm gonna praise my sister Denise, who is hosting everybody. All I got to do is go from practice to show up and be, just my interpersonal self. Just
show
love
up
on everybody. Play with the kids, throw the football around. If you want to tell me your crazy theory about the Dallas Cowboys, I'm totally here for it because it's always the afternoon game. I think my dad's probably going to come over to our house to watch, I can't believe this, to watch Vikings Patriots. That's how much me and my dad love football.
I'll tell you what, that game
What's wrong with you? Did you just watch the Patriots?
I know. That game
Those
actually
two teams scored a combined 13 points last week.
It's better than it would have been before the season.
Yeah.
That game has more juice now than it did 2 months ago.
So
but I also just watched them play.
I'm great. I just want pecan pie and ice cream. And sure, turkey's fine. Sure.
You're just ready to eat. I was trying to decide. I'm responsible for the family's desserts.
Mm-hmm. As is my wife, Holly.
And I normally make 2 to 3. And I was trying to decide, does everyone just want the same thing and we don't want any variance in this? Like, should I just be making pumpkin pie, apple pie, and something chocolate? Or do you want a little variance in your world? That's really, that's what I haven't sorted. I think I'm going to make apple pie because I make that every year and I make it in slightly different ways.
Obviously a great choice.
But I think instead of pumpkin pie, I'm going to do a pumpkin roll. So like those big Swiss cake rolls with like the cream cheese in it.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to decide if I need to make a third thing.
We hadn't put that on film yet.
Yeah. I've actually, last year, I brought this to the table, and now it has already been requested for this year. I make incredible from-scratch cornbread muffins.
Okay.
So
you put a little jalapeno in there?
No, that's Texas style, man. We don't do that.
As long as obviously we trust you.
Thank you.
And if there's plenty,
I don't know why, but thank you.
If there's plenty of butter.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's an incredible side to whatever the ensemble is.
And we'll get a little sprinkle of powdered sugar on top as well.
Okay, Nick. Okay.
We're not messing around.
So
we're not messing around.
What I see here is a young quarterbacks coach who's ready to show that he has offensive coordinator capabilities on Thanksgiving.
I'm just here to do my job. I'm not trying to take anybody else's job, and we don't talk about other men's job. But if the opportunity presented itself, then I'd be willing to take on more responsibility.
Well, look, you get to the setting wherever it is, wherever the meal is being prepared and put together, and look, someone's gonna mess up. Okay, this is just that the odds suggest that everybody's gonna have to be like, what was that? What was that? Was that actual stuffing? What did we just eat?
We get that out of a box? You let that bread sit too long?
Yep.
As I get older, wine's getting more and more significant. We got to have a really good wine placement.
Absolutely.
On the roster. Like, you got to put the cap has to now include wine.
Is this now like 12 personnel for the Chiefs? It's like maybe a few years ago that wasn't as big a part of it, but now all of a sudden it's major.
Totally correct.
My family spent a crazy amount of time having no alcohol at family gatherings.
What?
Okay, so I'm telling you, listen. We go to my grandma's every year, and she would break out the real china and the silver, and we'd eat there.
Shout out to grandma.
And after she had passed, we were like at one family gathering, and I was getting ready to go to a Thanksgiving, and I'm like, this is it. I've had it. And I brought like a 12-pack. I'm like, I'm bringing alcohol to this, and I'm going to drink it. And everyone was like, can I get one of those? I'm like, we're doing this now.
Oh, yeah.
We're drinking in all these family gatherings.
What?
I don't know. It took us so long. Let's all bring booze.
Yeah.
Let's agree that this is the correct and wise decision here.
Right. I mean, everybody wants to pass out, okay? It's totally fine. Like, fill your plate, have wine or beer, For me, it'll be probably wine throughout the day, then nightfall will come, and then I'll go to bourbon.
Yeah,
and that's the way it's supposed to go.
There's nothing better than the post, because we do. I don't know. Do you guys do Thanksgiving dinner or lunch?
We do mostly mid afternoon.
When I was going to 2, it was like 11, and then another one at like 3.
So what we'll do, we'll probably eat around noon or 1, which means I will be passed out by 4.
Yes.
But I'm back up by 6, and that's when the leftover feast begins, where I'm making the sandwiches with the Hawaiian rolls. Oh yeah.
Come on.
Spread the cranberry in the inside of it.
Yeah.
Now I got to play it a little different this year because we're going to go to my dear friends Mike and Amanda's house. We're going to do a little dessert, sort of after party basically at their place. We each have kids similar age, but one of my favorite things was watching my dad and grandpa fall asleep when I'm trying to tell them Barry Sanders is on television. And then them waking up for like the second half of the Cowboys just destroying somebody who happened to come into, the old Cowboy Stadium. So for me, it's like, based on what my family does, we always trim later afternoon than like around normal lunchtime. It's like, so when can I get a nap if I got to go to like another friend's house?
That's tough.
Like, how am I going to stay hydrated this entire time while also being responsible?
The odds are stacked against you. I'm going to put it like that.
It really is.
I'm not liking your chances, It's kind of like I'm not liking the chances of the Chargers making the postseason, even though I guess I said I did like their chances earlier.
Staley get fired if they miss the playoffs?
I don't want to think that far ahead, Cody, but man, that's a really good question.
I mean, how many?
It's a really,
they keep making excuses for him.
And he's a defensive guy too. Everybody has to be mindful that.
And they're terrible on defense and have been.
Yeah.
I get the injuries,
But
I'm not.
still,
but at some point, you can't.
Right.
I'm not asking you to be the best defense in the league. I'm asking you to not be a bottom 5 defense, which is what they've been for most of this year.
And so the question then becomes, who do I want to trust and give the benefit of the doubt to more? A Bill Belichick-led defense or the Chargers offense, which fluctuates from week to week? Well, I'm going to take the constant in this variable, and I'm going to take, like, even in a tougher division, I still trust Bill Belichick to have a better game plan week to week to at least present difficulties for the opposing offense.
He's the best defensive coach in NFL history.
Yeah. So, I mean...
So I assume he'll do a pretty good job
Brandon
of that.
Staley had that one good year with the Rams as their
They were
defensive
so
coordinator.
good they were so good that
so
year,
Brandon
too.
Staley
Good with that with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, too. God who can't coach that group.
Yeah, that's pretty talented
Yeah,
tandem there.
all like 2 premier players in their primes. Yep, that'll work.
Oh, at like premium positions.
Yeah, that'll work.
Just those things. If it weren't for that, speaking of Aaron Donald, Chris Jones is playing better than him this year.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not so crazy to say he's had a better career or he's better than Chris Jones or Aaron Donald.
Don't say that.
But he is better than Aaron Donald has been this season.
Yep.
And honestly, I am offended how far down the Defensive Player of the Year odds he is. He's the 3rd favorite right now. He's on pace for 15 and a half sacks.
Mm-hmm.
He is 40-1 on BetMGM. He is, and Micah Parsons, for instance, is minus 250. And they are 1 sack apart, 1 forced fumble apart, and Micah Parsons has a touchdown. That's the only difference statistically between them. And one guy plays interior defensive line for half the time.
So that means that Micah Parsons is a bigger favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year than Patrick Mahomes is to win MVP, which is shocking considering just if we're looking at Chris Jones, I think he has a very valid case to be mentioned amongst Micah Parsons, and I don't know who else is up there.
It's Matthew Judon is
Matthew
the second
Judon.
favorite right now, who has more sacks than Parsons, too.
Because
Why?
Nate,
They just all just decided
he's
it's
doing it late in games, too. Chris Jones, this is about the 5th time this year where he has had a sack in the 4th quarter, 1 possession game to basically put the game away. He keeps closing out games, and that should matter, too, if we're talking about individual awards, shouldn't it?
Let me just state some facts through statistics. Micah Parsons has 10 tackles for loss. Chris Jones has 10 tackles for loss this season. I mean, Micah Parsons is supposed to be the see ball, go get ball.
Why? What's
all-star?
Is it a Cowboys thing? Is it because it's the Cowboys?
Of course it's a Cowboys thing.
Is that just betting odds, or do you actually think the NFL, the people who vote for this award, and there's, 50 of them, right, who vote for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Is this how the 50 people will vote? Have they just already decided Micah Parsons is a more important defensive player this year, or is it because he's on the better defense?
It's a little bit of a hedge here. Playing on the Cowboys already elevates you. Micah Parsons is a younger player, so obviously he was Rookie Defensive Player of the Year last year, and oh my goodness, he's just as good, if not better, in year 2. So there's always that. It's always that. I guess allure is the word I would use for a player such as this. Chris Jones has been established. He has been very good for a very long time. You can't clearly state that he's having a career year right now, but we might say differently. We might say differently in week 17 and week 18, right? When we have a little larger sample size. Now, he had that great year in 2018 where he had a lot of sacks. And it was the only year he's had double-digit sacks. So whenever he gets his next one will be the second in his career where he's had double-digit sacks. But also, it's about when you play these games and how you perform in such games. They absolutely crunched the Minnesota Vikings, who, by the way, beat the Buffalo Bills fair and square.
I know, but Justin Herbert, they had only given up 13 sacks all season. The
Yes.
Chiefs rolled in there, and Jones got 2.
Yeah. And
Team got 5,
and got the most important one to shut down any chance of obviously getting in field goal range. I would also say it's when you play the games and how the season gets down to the very, very end. And unfortunately, to I think Chris Jones' detriment, the Chiefs have already locked up the division, and their next most big game is maybe the Cincinnati Bengals.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, that one still matters. Jamar Chase might be back by then. They'll have a little more juice. This Rams game has no juice.
If Micah Parsons devours Jalen Hurts and all of a sudden the division is flipped on its head, I can't help you there, sir. Now,
This is like when we were trying to get Creed Humphrey Rookie of the Year votes, and then Jamar Chase had
just blew up
200 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Chiefs. I'm like, that's not going to help.
Well, I feel like Chris Jones' Defensive Player of the Year candidacy is probably a little bit stronger than Creed's was.
I don't know. Creed got 2 Rookie of the Year votes. Do you think Chris Jones is getting 2 Defensive Player of the Year votes?
Jamar Chase had like 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns.
He's an alien.
It was pretty decent rookie year.
Yeah, just the equivalent of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss put together. I know people don't want to hear this because it was the one game. Nick Bosa has played one bad game all season. It was against the Chiefs. But if you watch Nick Bosa, oh my Lord,
they just didn't even block him that game. They were just like, we're not even going to pay attention.
They put Jerick McKinnon on him more than they did their tackles.
Everybody tries, and it's like, stop. Why try?
Honestly, it was a good strategy. They ran plays at him in a way that his pass rush didn't matter. Like, we're just going to run right at you.
Yeah, they negated.
We're not going to let you work around everyone else.
Yeah, so I think out of the list right now, and I know he's not getting a lot of love too, but like Myles Garrett is having a very good season. I thought the first half of the season, Von Miller was the Defensive Player of the Year because his impact on the Bills was sizable. You felt it, and obviously it played out in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs when we thought, hey, the Bills now have the inside track to have the 1 seed. But as the season moves along, I mean, Micah Parsons does some really cool things, guys. He does some really cool things.
But so does Chris Jones. Sometimes it's harder to see because it's the interior.
True. And Micah Parsons has 3 forced fumbles this year. They all have looked telegraphed. The quarterbacks still look like they've never seen who this player is, i.e. Kirk Cousins. It was like, and I saw the replay of it today. It's like, hey, man, early in the game, really don't need a turnover. All right, okay, 3rd and short. Hold.
Pick.
Hold. Let me scramble out of the pocket. Let me hold it again. And it's just like, if you're going to eat the sack, protect the ball.
Yeah.
Instead, he is like, do you not know who's chasing you from behind? Did you not ID him before the snap? And of course, Micah Parsons fumbles him, and then they just race from that moment on.
So I don't want to run the risk of talking Chris Jones this entire time because I want to talk some offense with you, but this is not a contract year for Chris Jones, but it's sort of kind of a contract year for Chris Jones.
They're just going to give him a bunch of money.
Yeah, what's going to happen this offseason with him?
So, for context, and this is a great point, Nick, as way his contract is set up right now, because it was basically 4 years, $80 million, but obviously you backload a lot of that in the 4th year for a cap standpoint, and that was when the cap was obviously a little bit more stagnated because we were all living in a pandemic. We didn't know where the money was going to go. Now that we are back to, as best of normal lives we can get to, he is playing on his contract year in essence because if the Chiefs release him, they save more money than it costs to cut him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you would never do that, but you do need to give him another 3-year extension, in my opinion, at around $23 million, maybe 24. If he does amazing in the postseason, maybe it gets to 25 a year. But you're doing that so that he can be on the team for 2023 or 2024, and then you sort of figure it out from there.
Was this a foregone conclusion before the season began? Like, did you think the plan has always been to restructure his contract?
Yes. I had a conversation with Brett Veach in training camp. I don't know. I might circle back to it because there are some things you have that you talk about and you're like, well, I just want to see how the season plays out. I think that's fair to fans. I think it's fair to obviously.
Because he's at about that age where the Chiefs have historically moved on from guys.
But he's too valuable.
There's certain people in the NFL, like if you have a player who is all pro caliber, those are the very few instances in which you give a 3rd contract. To me, Chris Jones is going to end up as like a 100-sack guy in his NFL career. He's got like 60 now, plenty of time left to play in his career. He could very well end up with like 100 sacks. You got a 100-sack guy, you give him 3 contracts. If they're Travis Kelce, you give him 3 contracts. If they're Mahomes, you give him 3 contracts and no one else, right?
And he wants,
everyone else can be a 2-contract guy and give Snead more money. By the time you get to the 3rd one, you just don't.
Yeah, and I want everyone to hear this in Kansas City. Chris Jones doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to play here. There's not a situation that's developing kind of like around this time last year where, similarly, Tyreek Hill was playing in a contract year. He knew that. The team knew that. Yeah, he has 1 more year left on his deal, but, Tyreek wanted to be the highest paid player at his position.
Which meant it wasn't necessarily going to be here and wasn't here.
Right. And so, Chris, you don't know how it's all going to play out. So I'm trying to do this as best I can with my understanding of the situation, but he wants to be here. He wants to play here for the duration of his career. He's made that very clear. The organization knows that. They have put everything around him, which is basically the question I asked to him after the game on Sunday. Like, is it satisfying that, like, you are the star and they have given you a very good supporting cast, right? Even Frank Clark coming back has been very good in his supporting role with you now being the star, which was the difference in 2019 when Frank Clark was the star and you were sort of the Robin to his Batman based on the contract, the trade, all those things. And obviously Frank got all the sacks to end the games in the postseason run. But they've done everything for him. They obviously allowed him to play defensive end last year. It didn't go well, but it does serve him better this year because he's using some of those moves on right tackles, and they are working now because he's had that experience. So you don't know how the season's going to play out, obviously. You obviously need him to stay healthy, but this guy has seen what Travis Kelce's done. He's seen, obviously, how Patrick Mahomes' career has moved forward, and he wants to be in that threshold of, hey, these were the core guys in this era where maybe the Chiefs won multiple Super Bowls, you know? And right now there's only 4 players in that category. It's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and Frank Clark. If Frank Clark has another memorable postseason, even though we all assume that this will be his last year, he will be a part of this sort of core 4 in my mind, as I've reported on these guys for all this time, that say, hey, the first sort of Mahomes era included these other 3 guys.
Offensively, Nate, the Chiefs obviously had no trouble scoring against the Chargers, especially considering they were without most of their, I'd say 3 of their top 4 planned wide receivers, especially because Tony emerged kind of immediately. Did it say more in you to that game about, wow, look how deep they are at wide receiver? Or is this just one of those, my God, Mahomes can throw to anyone just as long as Travis Kelce is on this team?
Yeah, and as long as the coaching staff is intact.
Yeah, that matters.
Can everybody just acknowledge that, like, well, what does Eric Bieniemy do?
We just joked about that last week. We were like, we talked a lot about him last year. We talked a lot about him at the beginning of the offseason, and all year long, it's just kind of been...
Look at what Mahomes and Andy are doing without Tyreek.
Yeah.
Never EB.
Never EB. Look, Matt Nagy matters. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just the truth. The dude used to be a head coach.
Seems like Dable not being in Buffalo matters. So, I mean, I would think that quarterback, offensive coordinator, those things.
Andy is totally fine with having really, really smart people around him. Joe Blademeyer, like, kind of came up in the untraditional manner in terms of wide receivers coach, but the receivers, by and large, have all played well given their opportunities presented to them. Andy Heck been doing this a long time at the offensive line. Obviously, he was sort of a hero in saying, we're just not going to block Nick Bosa. And, like, okay, all the other coaches built the game plan around that core fact. We not blocking him. Cool. We'll figure out a way to beat him. All right, you know, we have Khalil Mack, and, hey, Trey Smith having a little bit of a dip in his second season. Last 2 games, Trey Smith has gone right back up. So coaching matters.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Kadarius Toney, I'm going to look this up really quick. I believe he had 1 target.
I only played like 14 snaps or something like that.
Before he got hurt.
Hey, man, you feeling a little tight in the hamstring? The turf here at SoFi is terrible to play on anyway. Why don't you chill?
That field is awful.
Awful. Why don't you chill? You're going to be fine. We need you over the course of the season, not just for this game. So just chill. We got it. Don't worry. We're going to be running swing routes to Jody Fortson. I mean,
that, by the way, that throw.
Pass, dude.
It's the pass, the concept.
They did that at a 13 personnel.
Yes,
they like lined up big and still completed a 40-yard completion.
Nothing pre-snap tells you, oh, he's running a swing route. Why is he still running? Oh my God!
Third string tight end.
Yes, that's coaching. What play did Joe Lombardi do that was equivalent to that? There is none.
No.
By the way, it was what a knife to the gut. Andy yesterday was like, I know Travis said that, but yeah, it was the same play 2 years in a row. Like, that is insulting.
Because we know
it is insulting to tell a team, we beat you 2 years in a row on the same play, and we play in the same division. Are you guys even trying to study the tape, or are you just hoping?
My coaches are better than your coaches.
Yeah.
Because we figured out, okay, without Kadarius Toney, without McCole Hardman, without Juju Smith-Schuster, we get in a certain situation and a certain look, guess what? Your best player will not matter because my best player's running away from him because we know you in man coverage.
So when you look at this wide receiver core now and not knowing, I'm assuming Juju's going to be back sooner rather than later. McColl's obviously going to be sidelined. I guess we'll wait.
We don't know about Tony yet.
We don't know about Tony.
I think Tony's fine.
Okay.
For the bigger portion. Now, you may say, I don't know, he might be limited in practice this week. I'm projecting, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, even if he plays Sunday, it might still be a limited role. But they're going to take it cautiously with Tony. But I didn't get any sense from the team that it was, like, a significant, injury for his hamstring.
I kind of joked at the beginning of the year when Mahomes said, it's going to be, I know it's going to be terrible for fantasy football owners, but any given week, it could be anybody. And I was like, okay, well, it's going to be Travis Kelce, and it's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster, so I don't believe you. And now, all of a sudden, I watch that game, and I think, okay, well, with Juju out, I guess that's more opportunity for this guy. Oh, no, it was Justin Watson who played more snaps than any other wide receiver.
Sky Moore had his best game.
Sky Moore had his best game, and he didn't look like a rookie, man. It wasn't just that he's just getting reps, and so they had to force feed him the ball. No, he would look like crisp route running, looked like he knew what he was doing out there. So it's like each given week somebody steps up, and I'm like, hey, maybe bigger role for this guy moving forward. But if this whole receiving core is healthy, should I just expect it at the end of the season to look like it did at the beginning of the season with Juju being your one, MVS out there 70% of snaps, and then McCole still being that guy in the slot for you?
Yeah. And, like, it's a different offense than 2018, but it's a more mature offense, even with
What do you mean by that?
Even with all these new parts. In 2018, the biggest issue was every defense was still trying to make Mahomes beat
They just kept blitzing him. They just kept throwing everything
And
at
what
him.
I mean by that is we were blitzing, and we were still playing single high coverage, which is like, okay, quarterback, beat us.
And he did.
Until Bill Belichick rolled up in the AFC Championship game, and for one half, brilliantly brought a game plan of, like, exotic blitzes. We think you're coming here. We're actually going there. And Mitchell Schwartz and I have talked about this all the time, where he's like, yeah, their coaches totally got our coaches in the first half. Then we came out of halftime, and Mahomes and the offense went nuclear, and obviously they didn't get the coin toss in overtime. Now it's a more mature offense because what options do you have? The last team that really got the coaches was the Bengals, because they dropped 8 and said, please keep passing the ball, Andy, please. And they did. And Mahomes had his first real funk in a playoff game. When is that going to happen? So it's a mature offense because, yes, there's new parts. Yes, there's no Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce's still the best tight end in the league. So guess what? He dictates your coverage. And guess what? We all know that now. And guess what? The quarterback's got experience against quarters, cover 2, single high, blitzes. Like, where are the options to go if everybody's healthy and everybody executes at a high level and the offensive line is intact? And I know people are wondering about Lucas Niang, and I think he will be elevated to the active roster, but Andrew Wiley's the right tackle. Like, this is the offensive line that you had last year that played very well in the postseason. And guess what, guys? They're trending back to being one of the best offensive lines in the league at the midway to the second half point of the season. So the quarterback can do everything. He is the most talented passer of the football in the league. And now he's seen just about every coverage and has options to go to when he sees what is available on the field on a given snap situation, down and distance.
I know we got to let you go, but this is Pacheco's backfield now, right?
Of course.
Okay.
And Clyde left the locker room Sunday in a walking boot in his right ankle.
Andy said not good in postgame, and he won't even tell us what the hell's going on with McCole.
Right. So that leads us now to having a true defined role for everybody. Pacheco is first and second down. McKinnon is third down. Ronald Jones, short yardage.
So all those tweets you've been getting all year about what are they going to do with Ronald Jones? Finally, we have an answer.
We declared
right?
that dead last week too. I'm like, I don't want to ever hear his name ever again.
Look.
Now we got to talk Ronald Jones again.
I have to report the team today with the context of obviously the past and obviously project accordingly moving forward. I've been saying this early on. Ronald Jones was in the break in case of emergency glass. Whenever the first injury was going to happen, because injuries happen to the running back position all the time in this league, hey, guess we can break out of the in case of emergency glass. It's Ronald Jones. This is probably the situation that's going to play out for this week, maybe moving forward, however long Clyde's out. But Ronald Jones, hey, change of pace, short yardage, goal line?
Maybe. I'm sick of watching Michael Burton, that's for sure. Nate!
Wait, why is Michael Burton catching straight?
The 3rd and 1 fullback dive.
Okay,
it's played. They got it figured out.
He had a touchdown versus the Chargers last year.
We're done on that play.
They're gonna run it about 4 more times,
and then they're gonna throw it to someone, aren't they?
Of course, in a playoff playoff game.
That's been my working theory, by the way, on Pacheco and the passes. He's going to have one catch until the AFC title game, and on 3rd and 14 on some play, no one's going to guard him. They're just going to forget that Pacheco even has a chance to catch it, and that's when they'll throw it to him.
Hey, everybody. Michael Burton's on the field on 4th and 1. Don't look over here. Yeah, they're just setting they're just setting things up.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Colin Saunders played one snap in the backfield this year. You don't think they got more plays for that?
Well, I'm sure they do. I'm just sick of watching that Burton one, that's all. Nate, appreciate the time as always. Happy Thanksgiving. When we come back, our VNFL insider, Vinny Pasquantini, joined us earlier in the show. You can rehear part of that interview next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss Alex's That Betting Show every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Right here on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is back, and FanDuel wants you to get in on the action when America takes the pitch, because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if they don't win. All tournament long, FanDuel has your favorite bet types, including some that are exclusive to soccer. Just like any other sport, you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday with the same game parlay. However you want to play, be sure to back America, red, white, and blue, because all customers get free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. All you need to do is download FanDuel app and make sure to use my promo code CDOT if you don't already have an account. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app.
21 and present in Kansas. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 7 days after receipt. Max free bet ranging from $5 to $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Okay, we admit it. With literally thousands of different wines, craft beers, and fine spirits, Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstore can sometimes make it hard to choose. That's why we have certified sommeliers, cicerones, and spirits experts right there in the aisles to help. But one choice you will never have to make at Lucas is buying local or saving money. For 35 years, locally owned Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstores has been selling more beer, wine, and spirits in a week than some stores sell in a year. That's why we can sell it for less, way less. And while inflation is raising prices elsewhere, Lucas is holding the line or even lowering prices just in time for tailgating or a quiet fall evening on the patio. Shop local and save local at locally owned Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstores in the Northland, Overland Park, and South Kansas City. Online at lucaskc.com.
Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstore in a glass by itself.
A ring shimmering with 3 blue sapphires for the one who's never left your side. A gold necklace with a lavender gemstone for your dearest friend. A romantic diamond bracelet for a new love. At Shane Company, we create treasures for the people you treasure. With the widest selection of fine jewelry, it'll be easy to find magical holiday gifts for your family and friends. We know your gift represents your love. That's why we put so much care into everything we make. At Shane Company, our diamonds are hand-selected one by one, so they sparkle from every angle. Our gemstones shine in a full spectrum of colors, so you can choose your ideal shade. Our cultured pearls are hand-matched, so when the light hits them, they illuminate beautifully. Visit us today. We're open every day of the week. You can also set up an appointment to meet with a jewelry consultant in the store. We offer virtual appointments too. This year, find true treasures for the ones you love.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
If you are a business owner, listen up. And remember the website, getrefunds.com. If your business has 5 or more employees and managed to survive COVID, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. It's a little-known program, but it's out there. It's a payroll tax refund, not a loan, no payback. It's a refund of your taxes. Now, the challenge is getting your hands on it. How do you cut through the red tape, get your business the refund money they have coming back? Well, go to getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they put together, highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program, and have already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. To find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. They do all the work. No charge up front. Simply share a percentage of the cash they get for you. Don't miss out. Go to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com.
What's on the grill?
Well, I'm cooking up some vegetables, kebabs, hamburgers, and some tasty chicken.
Smells great. What are you using?
Gates, of course. Gates seasonings taste great on everything, and topped with Gates sauce, you can't go wrong.
And they taste great, too.
Of course.
Pick up a bottle of Gates sauces and seasonings at your local grocer. If you don't see it, ask for it.
This week kicks off Chiefs Week at Community Blood Center. Donate at a Community Blood Center donor center or blood drive now through December 2nd and receive a free Chiefs t-shirt and a chance to win Chiefs tickets. Make an appointment today at savealifenow.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast, even if your symptoms feel mild. Ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Dell Technologies Black Friday event has arrived with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 50% off select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
This report brought to you by Max Motors. Vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. MaxMotors.com.
We have you covered at Max Motors. Getting your vehicle serviced from the comfort of your home or work is easy. We do all the work for you. Free pickup, vehicle service, and delivery within 50 miles. Reserve now at MaxMotorsTransit.com.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Brown and Crouppen Studios. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
First up on What's Trending, World Cup action already today has been fascinating. Argentina was upset this morning, 4 a.m., starting at Saudi Arabia, who beat them 2-1, sorry. It was 1-0 Argentina, and then eventually they came back to win 2-1. Poland and Mexico ended in a draw, and France currently leading Australia 2-1. Australia jumped out 1-0, and now France has the 2-1 lead.
Up next on What's Trending, Jets head coach Robert Saleh will not commit to Zach Wilson being the starting quarterback this weekend in the Jets game against the Bears or moving forward. This comes after the Jets' 10-3 loss versus the Patriots, after which quarterback Zach Wilson was asked if he felt like he let the defense down, to which he responded, no,
that
end
probably didn't go
quote.
over well.
No, it turns out that perhaps ruffled some feathers in the Jets locker room. They felt like maybe he was showing them up. He was sort of walking around acting like he didn't do anything wrong. I'll tell you this right now. For a quarterback who has been as bad as Zach Wilson has been, which is the worst quarterback in the NFL, walking around with your chest out after putting up 3 points and saying you didn't let the defense down. The defense, which, by the way, is one of the top 5 units in the NFL, probably not the way to handle yourself. I actually love this from Robert Saleh. Like, hey, I'm a defensive coach.
I'm not saying you can't have the job, but we got to talk about it.
Yeah, you're not entitled to anything. Yeah. We have a good team here. We have a good defense. We've drafted well lately, except for you. That was the mistake we made, and at this point, I don't know why you wouldn't turn to Mike White or it's
Joe
Mike
Flacco.
It's Mike White, right?
Yeah, White or Flacco. Those are really the two.
Yeah.
The Jets' problem is they're not going to be high enough in the draft to get one of those good guys. They're currently picking 18th. In the draft now, I think they'll fall back a little bit.
But they're a playoff team.
They're a playoff team, so they got to try to win now.
He has 4 touchdowns.
Yes, absolutely. Next up on What's Trending, the Final Four announced that it'll be in Las Vegas in 2028. They obviously announced these things out a few years in advance. This is the kind of thing, by the way, we talk about downtown stadiums for Kansas City, but more importantly, if there's ever a new Arrowhead, if you want a Final Four, you'll have to put a roof on. That, I think, will be the most fascinating decision for the Chiefs. I think they'll stick to outdoor stadium and choose other events to have at their arena. But the reason why some of these places have put domes or roofs on their building, like in Houston or anywhere else, is because they want Final Fours. That's why Vegas has a roof. That's why, L.A., they want those kind of things available. And it looks like Las Vegas, who's gotten just about everything, is probably going to get a Major League Baseball team in the next 5 years. We'll also get a Final Four in 2028.
Next up on What's Trending, Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel said today that the team will move forward with offensive coordinator Todd Downing following Downing's arrest for driving under the influence after the Titans' Thursday Night Football win on November 18th. According to authorities, Downing was estimated to be going 95 to 100 miles per hour by police, but was officially clocked at 50 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone while being followed. So, probably not exercising the best judgment there, but at least according to Mike Vrabel, not going to lose his job, which
shouldn't be surprising.
No. You got to do a lot to lose your job in the NFL.
I would say this, though. The NFL should be a little bit quicker. As quick as they hand out, like, suspensions for other people, this is a pretty straightforward one. They could have a DUI suspension policy for coaches and players.
Just like, boom, 4 games.
Yeah. You get 4 games. You're the offensive coordinator for the Titans, you get a DUI, 4 games. We know what's happened across the league in these circumstances sometimes. There's no reason not to just have, that is the easiest one.
By the way,
to have a static rule on. And I get it because he's not convicted yet, but I mean.
Have you seen some of the stuff that came out from the arrest, the stop? During the stop, Downing admitted that he'd been drinking prior to driving. He told the officers the reason that he was speeding was because he was trying to get home to his family quickly because he'd been receiving death threats.
It's something you say if you're drunk and you're hoping people believe
It's so aggressive, though. Couldn't you have come with something a little tamer than that? It's like, because it doesn't even make sense. It's like the Titans are playing good football right now. They're winning. I highly doubt that after winning on Thursday Night Football, that Todd Downing's like, I got to get home before somebody kills me. Like, that's not happening.
You're an offensive coordinator. Let
me ask you something. Do you believe he received a single death threat?
No.
One death threat?
No. I think he was drunk, and in the moment he was trying to think of a lie that seemed so serious they'd forget about his drunkenness.
Hey, spoiler alert, didn't work.
No, it didn't. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Earlier today, our VNFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino, we had a chance to sit down with him, and we started off very simply. How was Italy?
So I leave for 1 week, and then we can't figure out the phone line.
Apparently, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe I really am Wally Pip. Psych, call me Lou Gehrig because I'm back. Nobody's Wally Pipping me, Michael Massey. You don't even start.
Michael was he had a strong performance in your stead, Vinny. So I want to thank you first off for getting an adequate replacement.
Yeah, no problem, guys. And I knew he would want to come back on, so I just wanted to bring on the best, and he really wanted to come back on, so he really gave a good performance. But I'm happy to say that I'm back.
He did at least one time was talking about one thing that came up that I think we have to address before we talk about the NFL is he said that you were starting to shop more at Gucci or other high-end clothing stores. Is that accurate, Vinny, or was this just for the Italy trip?
Am I currently wearing a Prada jacket? I might be. But that's neither here nor there. Like, I like taste. All right. I'm just a tasteful man who enjoys nice clothes and having a good time. So, I mean, sure. Have I found myself in some designer stores that last year I would not have found myself in? Sure. That's fine. That's fair to say.
Big leagues changed you, Vinny. Big leagues changed you. I actually went and we're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch now. And so I had to find a headshot of you, and I could have used the Royals headshot, your most current one, but instead I found a glorious picture of you in your Old Dominion days with a slick back haircut. It looks like a copious amount of hair gel and the gold chain, which I feel like that look would have fit in during your vacation in Italy.
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing about an off season is most people don't get to see what I look like, and my hair is on its way back. And I have a nice gold chain on right now. So I think my headshot next year will be looking a little bit like that one, which will just be great.
Do they take that at spring training, or is that like a first day when you get to Kansas City thing?
Last year was in spring training. I think that's where it happens.
Vinny, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on in the NFL. We can start with your Jets, whose offensive performance on Sunday left a little bit to be desired.
How about those Chiefs, huh? I mean, they're just unbelievable. They're just unbelievable. I mean, 15 just really knows what he's doing. 15-87, huh? I mean, it's just incredible to watch. What a game. Nobody in Kansas City was worried when the Chargers scored. That's just a beautiful place to be. It's really nice when your offense is just able to push the ball down the field and score some points.
Vinny, is it that bad? Is it that bad now that, I mean, we're just weeks removed from talking about this team fast-tracking to the AFC playoffs, that now we just have to not speak of those New York Jets anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are just a really good team, if we're being completely honest. They're the number one seed in the AFC for a reason, and they're just really exciting to watch. I love them.
Is Mahomes going to win the MVP no matter what? Do you think the race is over, or are you still willing to see something happen for the rest of the year?
So it's kind of funny that you asked me, because at the beginning of the season, I would have told you that people have Patrick Mahomes fatigue, just kind of like LeBron, how he could probably win it every year, but they're never going to give it to him. And then it's just turned into he's just so dominant that you have to give it to him. And it's also funny because what does he have? One MVP? So it's not like he has a ton of them in his trophy case. But yeah, he's going to win it. He's going to just go ahead and win it.
Well, there's still a little over half, or a little less than half the season, 7 games left in the schedule, and this is kind of the time of the year where teams start to sort of round into postseason form. Right now, how many legitimate Super Bowl contenders do you see in the NFL?
So you have the Chiefs. I think they're at the top of the list, and then when it comes to, I think it's the Chiefs, and then there's a next level, and I think that next level would be, surprisingly, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. I think they're the next level, and I say that about the Dolphins because they have a wide receiver that you guys know very well who is on that MVP list as well. And anytime you have a playmaker as a wide receiver being on an MVP list, you've got a pretty special season going on. So I think those would be the next 3. And then I think in that next tier, you're looking at the Bills, the Vikings. You know, it's just that next tier, but I think the Chiefs right now are at the top of that list.
Does that mean Bills tier 3?
You never know. Like, is Josh Allen a little banged up right now? They had a tough week with travel. I want to see them get back on the horse this week before I, really put them in that tier 2. If you're talking to me about the Bills early in the season, they're in tier 1, but I think they've taken a few steps back. But I think it's just the middle of the season lull that they might be going through. So we'll see. We'll see. They've got a nice game against Detroit coming on Thursday. We'll see what they can do.
Sounds like you might be writing off the Vikings a little bit. Was that beat down from the Cowboys enough, or is this just coming back to the Kirk Cousins stuff?
It's just, look, Justin Jefferson could potentially be the best wide receiver in the league. And like I was just saying about Tyreek Hill, anytime you have a playmaker that's that good, you're in a good spot. I just think I want to see the Vikings not have a negative point differential when they're 8-2. I think that's what I would look for there, is that they've scored less points than other teams that they've played, and that's insane for a team that is 6 games above 500.
When you look at, so I wanted to ask you at least about one more thing before that Michael Massey said, before we've got something else for you about that. But he gave us the bombshell report that you became a Jets fan because of Vinny Testaverde. But I didn't have the heart to break it to him that you had already told us that once. We came to speak to you in the clubhouse. Did he come digging for dirt and come up empty?
Yeah, so that's the problem when you I'll just go ahead and say one of my favorite quotes is, if you come at the king, you must kill him. And Michael tried. He did not kill me. And that's just how it goes. That's why he's not on the radio this week. So it's just a sad time to be Michael, but I'm sure he'll pick himself up.
Well, that's funny that you say that because Michael, seeing as how his Chicago Bears and your New York Jets, even though it seems like you're distancing yourself from that organization today, face off this weekend, Vinny. And Michael actually wanted to challenge you to a friendly waiver, so much so that he has recorded a special message just for you regarding this showdown that I'm going to play for you now.
If the Chicago Bears beat the New York Jets on Sunday, Vinny Pasquantino not only has to buy a Mitchell Trubisky jersey, he has to wear it on the first day of spring training into the clubhouse. As a side bet, if Zach Wilson completes more than 15 passes, I will buy and wear a Zach Wilson jersey into the clubhouse on day one of spring training. Because Vinny cannot be trusted, I want it noted that it has to be a Chicago Bears Mitchell Trubisky jersey, not a Steelers one.
All right, so those are the terms of his bet. Do you have a response, and do you accept the wager?
So first off, that's a weird bet. So if the Bears win, I have to do something. But what if the Bears win and Zach Wilson completes a certain amount of passes? Like, do we both lose? So I'm really confused with that. But I will say he does know me very well because I would have bought – now, so he didn't specify this. I would have bought a North Carolina Mitch Trubisky jersey or a Buffalo Bills jersey. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I accept. It's kind of funny that he's going to come after me like that on a recorded radio spot because him and I were actually on the phone yesterday discussing potentially going to Kansas City this weekend instead of watching the Jets-Bears game, just going to watch the Rams-Chiefs. So he must have had a change of heart, but I do accept his terms.
Yeah, Vinny, I thought the terms were weird too, by the way. I didn't have the heart to say anything to Michael about it, though.
Yeah, normally when you make a friendly wager, it's even on kind of what happens in terms of if my team wins or if your team wins, not if my team wins or if your quarterback completes a certain amount of passes, but it doesn't matter if your team wins. That's just Michael. I mean, to be honest, that's just Michael.
What are the percentage chances you guys are going to end up at in town this weekend to watch the game?
Probably slim, simply because it's a holiday weekend. But I was kind of looking at the schedule, and you know who the Chiefs play on January 1st, right?
I don't.
I don't know.
God,
I have no idea.
Am I supposed to know that offhand? It's the Broncos, right?
It's the Denver Broncos.
Oh, we don't like them. We don't like them, Vinny.
Yeah, we don't like them at all. So I was thinking about maybe making a trip out there for them. I'm still working through some things, making sure my schedule's clear. But, yeah, so we've got a few options in mind. If anybody out there has any opinions, let me know.
Okay. Hit up Vinny Pasquantino with suggestions. And if we find out you're going to be in town, we will make sure to treat you properly for your first ever Chiefs game in Arrowhead.
Okay, perfect. That's all I asked for, and I appreciate that from you guys. That makes me feel nice.
Vinny, appreciate the time. We'll catch up with you next week.
Yep, thank you guys. See you then.
That's Vinny Pasquantino. After our normal NFL Insider update catch up, it sounds like Vinny's gonna make a trip to Arrowhead this year.
I would love to go to a Chiefs game at Arrowhead with Vinny.
Absolutely.
You know what, dude? You know what else I think would be so much fun to do with Vinny? I would love to just sit down on like a Friday night and just watch old highlights of the 2001 Sacramento Kings.
No, that's not what Vinny wants to do.
Yeah, dude, I think he would.
Although in fairness, he was talking about he was threatening that he could beat Amir Garrett in one-on-one basketball on Twitter yesterday. So he might be a basketball fan.
They're both tall guys, aren't they?
Dude, he once told us Amir Garrett can jump like 4 feet in the air. Like, I don't know that's the guy.
Vinny's joked about
if Amir Garrett's got that kind of hops, is that the guy you want to play and pick up basketball?
Vinny's also been like self-deprecating about his own athleticism, like compared to other athletes. But like, I bet you he would appreciate watching like old Vlade Divac tape.
He's 25 years old.
So you're saying he can't be a student of the game?
He doesn't even know who Vlade.
You don't think he knows who Vlade Divac is?
I want you to ask next week, Nick, if he does.
I will. That's such an egregious thing to say, that he doesn't know who Vlade Divac is.
What, do you think he just knows every athlete from every sport?
I mean, no, but Vlade had a good run.
It's not Michael Jordan, it's Vlade
three
Divac.
different NBA teams, Cody.
So what?
Everybody knows Vlade
Sir
Divac.
flops a lot.
That's what Sir smokes a lot, too.
Really?
That's coming from a cig smoker.
That's an impressive.
He looks like a guy who would chain smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Without question. Nick, thanks for filling in.
Hey, Jed, thank you for filling in.
Hey, Cody, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome, guys.
Yay!
Nick and I will be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. The Drive coming up next.
This is Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt.